Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your hosts, the creator of the anti-life equation, Kyle Charles, and
The ruler of apocalypse, CY Chong.
and if you haven't already guessed, this is a very special episode as we're going to talk about the film that was 4 years in the making, maybe a bit more.
If you account from the point where the DC cinematic universe started,
Yeah, well then
then you know,
9 years, no, 8 years.
yeah.
Man still came out 2013. Yeah, and after, the weird rise of how this film got to be made,
yeah,
we are going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
yeah.
Not the Snyder Cut or Justice League. It's Zack Snyder's Justice
The official title.
That's the official title. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this
Though, if we
huge event.
when we compare to the 2017 Justice League, we'll just note 2017 version or 2017 Justice League or something, just to
or
distinguish
OG
the
Justice
version.
League.
Yeah. However, we're going to put it, we'll just make sure. I mean, to call both of them Justice League is going to be a bit weird, even though that's kind of
what it is.
they're both titles. Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably referring to your one as OG.
Yeah, and I'll just continually refer to this new one as Zack Snyder's Justice League in case it ever slips. I probably just will keep it like that.
Yeah.
I guess the first, what are your first impressions of this 4-hour movie? I initially was not excited for it because I was like, Batman vs Superman was not a good film, in my opinion. So how much better can the same team be to this film if they were really bad at that film? But this film is actually surprisingly good.
Yeah. Like you said, Batman vs Superman, I've watched it a couple of times. I could say about 3 times. I've watched the original in the cinema.
Yeah.
And then I watched the extended edition.
Right.
I think I might have watched it 2 more times after that, probably.
Okay.
And wasn't that much of a fan. I felt that film tried too hard. It suffered because of that.
It was a movie that tried to be like an epic character story about different personalities and how the world's affected by whatever. But it came across as contrived because it's like no normal people would make these decisions. Yeah. Even if you had a vengeance against someone, you might just look back, take a step back and go, even in my anger, I can't just be stubborn and just bullheaded on both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
He's the enemy and that's it. There's no other point to it.
Logic. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I've always felt that film, if there was a film between, like 1 or 2 films in between Batman vs Superman or Batman and Superman itself for splitting the 2 films, it would have been a better movie.
In the sense that Batman vs Superman, if it didn't need to be as long as it was, and nor does this film actually, to be honest. But I would have been happy with the tone from Man of Steel. I mean, I'm not a great fan of Man of Steel, but if from Man of Steel you went to the Justice League and you with a similar tone, and you kind of got this Justice League movie and split it in 2 because it didn't need to be this long, but you can pad it out with other things to introduce characters that you could skip the whole of Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
And it would have been a better representation of these characters.
Yeah. Like, the only problem there is if you skipped it. Because Superman's death really didn't need to happen.
Okay, here's a solution, but I know you've read Justice League War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen Justice League War?
Yeah.
And you've read the Jeff Johns Justice League New 52 comic book, right?
Yeah.
So Superman got kidnapped by parademons and taken to Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So you could have done something similar, and then
Yeah.
Batman's on a stealth mission to rescue him, while the rest of Justice League are trying to contain what's happening on Earth. That could be end of movie 1 or something like that. And then Superman gets away from Apocalypse. destroys whatever it is, gets walked back, and he's all kind of dying. Yeah. Like, then you can just do the rest of the Justice League film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't need to get him killed by Doomsday, which provide no drama whatsoever because you weren't really a fan of the character to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's just like you died for the sake of dying to put this movie into action. And like you could have done it a different way.
Because like if they did. Like it's Man of Steel, then a film in between that, then Man of Steel 2, and then a Batman versus Superman, whatever. By that time,
where Superman gets killed by Doomsday or whatever, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because then by that time, if you've had like padded it out so people actually get to like Superman more, he's dead would have made more sense and felt something. But just to kill him after like literally one film, it's like, okay, what's the dude done for me? It's for me to care.
So. There's good in this particular. Okay, this film did not need to be 4 hours.
I disagree. But
no. I mean, like as a whole, if you take it from the point where you're just looking at it without any backstory and everything like that, just like this is the film by itself.
Yeah,
it's quite a long film, and you can trim some parts of it.
Yeah,
but you probably got it like as a maximum. Maybe you could have got it to 3 hours. You definitely not got it down to the 2 hours that the Warner Brothers were telling Snyder to do, and Whedon had to do it. But
personally, I see this film. I don't see it as a film. I see it as a mini series.
Yes,
and that's why I thought to me it worked.
Yeah. No. If you don't take into account, obviously, that if it's supposed to go into cinema, people can't sit down for 4 hours, and then ticket sales and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
To make money. Yeah, as a TV series, it's kind of is you can sit down, you can pause whenever you want, you can go whatever, you can take a break and come back, but you can't sit through this in 4 hours.
No.
In a cinema, you know.
Nah, you go insane.
Yeah. As a TV miniseries, though, you watched it in parts, or did you watch it in one go?
What I did basically, I was gonna watch it, and then I thought, you know what? Let me watch the original first.
Oh no! Right.
And because me personally, I don't mind the original.
Yeah, I don't mind either. But 6 hours of film.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it all in one day. So I watched the original, took like a 2 hour break after that.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first 2 chapters.
Okay.
And then I watched the rest this morning, like an hour block. And then I watched, and then had like a 2 hour gap between that, and then watched the rest. So I didn't do it in one sitting because I thought, nah, my brain literally would.
So let me just break down here while the blocks that you're talking about.
Yeah.
The prologue is 9 minutes. Part 1 is 28 minutes. Part 2 is 32 minutes. Part 3 is 42 minutes. Part 4 is 30 minutes. Part 5 is 32 minutes. Part 6 is 41 minutes, and then the prologue is 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad they broke it up that way for the sense of you could just stop here, take a little break, whatever. But I watched it all in one go, and I was like, man, not to say it was a slog, because it wasn't. It was quite well paced.
Yeah.
But that length of time, you know.
Yeah, anything that length of time, like, it could be the best movie ever, but if you're sitting down watching it for 4 hours, that is painful.
Yeah. To be fair, there were decent enough blocks of action at certain points.
Yeah.
To keep your interest going.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of an action film with character moments in it.
Yeah.
So it had enough of those to keep you entertained, but you would have to take a break after a while or something like that. Unless you're a super fan, of course. I mean, you can sit through all of this.
Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend.
But make sure you probably have your dinner or breakfast or whatever ready, because you're going to be having to eat.
Yeah, because I had to do that a couple of times. I had to pause in between like a couple of times to like quickly get a drink and stuff like that, because I was running on empty, man. And that's not because of the film. I just being a human, you know, need subsistence.
Exactly. So that's that. I mean, if we were to say criticism, kind of the hour, I think I don't want to say overly indulgent, right? But it did not need to be 4 hours. I think if he cut this version down to actually go in cinemas, it wouldn't be 4 hours long. I want to say it wouldn't be allowed, but it would be. We can't make that much money off the showings if you're putting it out that much time. Plus, with trailers and cleaning up the screen afterwards,
Yeah, it's financially it would hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they probably would have reached a middle point of, because they wanted 2 hours and he wanted four, probably hit a middle point of three roughly.
Yeah.
Or a little bit under, stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, then ideally that would have been a good compromise. There were scenes I was watching this and I was like, yeah, it could be cut. Like, I know it's not going to criticism first, but I'm just pointing out certain things.
Yeah.
The Icelandic ladies wailing.
Yeah, that confused me.
Yeah,
that confused me.
I mean, it didn't need to be there. It was like, what are they trying to? Do you look at Aquaman as some sort of entity, godly savior, or why are they giving him like the chorus when he comes about? I mean, it's just a little bit weird.
It was weird. That's the only bit that sort of threw me out a bit. I was like, wait, what?
And I do have to say, Zack Snyder loves his wailing women, because every time there was some sort of, I don't want to say epic action scene, but they always like female vocals in the background doing the echoing, you know?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You gone?
I was going to say also, I mean, I'm not a great fan of Steppenwolf's design here as well. Spikes, ooh, so 90s, you know? Comic book 90s, anyways.
Watching both of them in the same day. Yeah. I preferred this version.
No, I'm not saying.
I get what you mean. Yeah. I got the vibe from it like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Because of like, you know, when Transformers came out and when they changed the Transformers designs to be more realistic but not realistic.
Yeah, I would have preferred. I mean, if the spikes were there to make him look intimidating, maybe. I would have preferred maybe actual armor. Like, I don't want to say the comic book, the kind of the design for the New 52 version of Earth 2 Steppenwolf.
When he just a dude in armor, like he.
Well, when I'm saying the armor designed like that, at least, or something like that. Not just like, it looks like he should have metal sheets on him with no characteristics.
Yeah,
it looks very like the Destroyer from 4.
Yeah, it did. But it also looked very Megatron from Transformers. That's why in my notes I referred to him sometimes as.
I don't know if it's a budget issue, because there's some dodgy special effects, but I'm gonna allow those for the budget cleanup and stuff. And I'm just saying Steppenwolf just kind of looked like he had strips, not actual armor, like metal strips over him, and just kind of. I don't think it was a great design personally, but. And his head was a bit funny as well, like a hammerhead shark. I mean, I thought that was his helmet, but it wasn't his head. When his things rolled back and you saw his head, I'm like...
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Giving birth to that, yeah.
I know if we're starting off like we're criticizing, but let tell you what, let's get to some good things we liked, so we're evening this out, okay?
Yeah.
The Flash had a really good... story arc.
Yeah, really good. He actually felt like he belonged in the film. Because the other one, watching it, you're like, why is the Flash actually here? After watching this one and you think about the other one, you're like, why was the Flash there?
Yeah. Other than, I want to say, quote-unquote, comedy relief.
Yeah.
The thing is, okay, he doesn't act like Barry Allen, right?
No.
But his character... his character suits his character arc here.
Yeah.
It starts like, I don't want to say your average Joe, but like a guy out of his depth. And then when it comes to call for him to save the world,
he steps
and reverse time. Yeah. There's lead up to it, and there's like, gotta do what I have to do. Otherwise, we just blown up the entire universe.
Yeah. And
that explains why he was running funny at the end of Justice League 2017.
Yeah.
No, at a scene where he's running by the car and Lois is doing the voiceover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was ice skating or some oddity. Here, obviously, is like he's running against the time stream, and that's why his body moves like that. Is that okay? That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And the way that he had to run around to help charge the whatever it is for Cyborg to do the mother box.
Yeah.
Well, you could have kept that in. Because that gives him a reason Flash not to be in the final battle, because super speed, you can just take out everything.
Yeah.
instead of running around trying to find a Russian family. That was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they really should have kept that in, even if they didn't want to use the explosion that that was going to wipe out whatever.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff
Yeah.
from the original that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The Cyborg actually had
A
enough,
lot more.
a lot more screen time. Yeah.
He was a lot more likable in this one.
Yeah. And it's very integral to the plot as well.
Yeah.
Rather than being, not saying a side character, but him and the mother boxes and everything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, they played a lot bigger. Like, the mother boxes part in this made a lot more sense as well. It's like, oh, and the other ones are just 3 boxes that if they come together, something happens. But in this one, there's like a reason when they come together, they do this, that, and the other. You're like, oh, okay. Again,
and
origin.
To be fair, as well, Superman's they started digging up his grave at the 1 hour with 1 hour and 50 minutes left in the movie, roughly. Yeah. No, 1 hour 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't miss him through all the time previous. His presence was kind of felt, though. They mentioned him and stuff like that, and Lois Lane and stuff like that. So he was always kind of there.
Yeah.
Not physically there, though.
Yeah.
You didn't think, okay, he's missing in the movie.
No.
But when he came in the movie, he made, once again, like in the 2017 version, he made Steppenwolf look like a jabroni. He made the entire Justice League look like jabronis as well. So, I mean, you know. And like I was say, it's inconsistent with how Wonder Woman was portrayed in Batman vs Superman because she was taking Doomsday and faring better than Superman himself. To be fair, he's fine like a brute and she's fine like a warrior. But even then, like, power to power, she's just so much lower tier than him. It shows, like, at least her fighting skills should have, not even up the field necessarily, but if you showed the display previous, and what happened to your skill in the next movie?
No, but I'll say in this movie, and in this one, they explain it more. Because she was fighting Doomsday, she had no personal connections in Doomsday, whatever. So she's more level-headed.
Yeah.
But in this one, Steppenwolf was like basically saying, I killed most of your family and you're just a chump. So she was fighting with anger, not out of...
Oh, no, I meant against Superman.
Oh, well, when Superman came back from being insane?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, because Superman's insane, so he wasn't holding him back, so...
Right. Well, I would have thought he was not holding it back against Doomsday either, but, well, you know...
Yeah, but he was a man then. But when he came back from Death of Lazarus Pit or whatever, he was, just...
Oh, I suppose, I mean, like, it's one of those things that you can explain personally.
Yeah.
But in verse, it's not explained.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're going to say the mother box overpowered him to the point of whatever, then he just came fresh back from death and he resurrected and all the cells are perfect and all that stuff. Supercharged? Yes. Yeah. That's not what the movie told me.
No, but...
Yeah. I can accept it if the movie did. If they said, oh, he's going to be come back supercharged and ready to explode.
But Aquaman sort of explains his actions. But that's about a scene later on in this one, I think. Remember? But yeah.
And though I have to say, when he did appear to fight against Steppenwolf and the Man of Steel theme kicked in, the flight theme, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he basically made it an embarrassment out of Steppenwolf, but the theme music made it sound so much more epic than just watching him on screen, just bitch slapping Steppenwolf. Yeah. Like, this music made it sound so much more awesome. It's like the Mortal Kombat music whenever a fight happens.
Yeah.
So the theme, I mean, I always like that theme, and it did suit the character. It did really suit the moment as well.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. And as not a fan of the black suit, but I didn't like the colouring of the blue and red suit in Justice League as well, because there was a I want to say a metallic muscle suit underneath, because when you see the behind the scenes, you see what they did, and they did it for the lighting of the black suit. So it made sense to have the black suit there. It looked so much better.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And it sort of made sense.
Yeah. Though I don't know why when he ripped his jacket open at the end of the movie, he still had the black suit on.
Because maybe that's his what he's gonna be wearing for a while. Till he feels. I don't know. I just thought, okay, I was like, oh, interesting choice. Okay, cool.
Oh, I would have thought he would have switched back to the red and blue by that point, but it's not a huge deal.
No,
it's just a bit like question mark.
Yeah, it's like weird creative choice, but okay, cool. I'm okay with it, I guess. Yeah, because maybe that's his new thing. Like, 'cause he's back, he's like, my new era is I'm gonna wear this until.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: when he had the black suit on, when it was the Flash kind of forward scene where he's holding a burnt crisp body, which we assume is Lois, but might not be.
Yeah.
And Darkseid put his hand on Superman's shoulder. Wearing the black suit there does make sense because of the moment, but at the same time, you would have thought maybe he should have been the red and blue, and then in the future flash forward nightmare scene at the epilogue, then he's in black. Then it makes sense. Transition.
Yeah, could.
But it's reversed the other way, and it's like, why would you be wearing a bright coloured suit? However, for consistency's purpose, he was wearing that same red and blue at Batman vs Superman nightmare scene, so you're kind of like, all right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's probably they might have explained in a future sequel, or whatever. But who knows?
Mera had a English accent.
Yep, that's one of the big things that sort of threw me off. I was like, in the OG one, she didn't have an English accent when he meets her.
And in Aquaman, she didn't have it either. But I'm kind of for it. If they kept it consistent, that would have been fine by me. But it's just that they've already made her American and American in the next movie, so they can't really alter it again. But I think Zack Snyder should have just kept her American in that case, because then it just makes it like, what? Out of nowhere? She's English. However, I think she should have probably had an English accent to begin with, because I think that kind of, I don't want to say suits royalty more, but her position.
But then it kind of contradicts with Wilmer Dafoe, because he doesn't have an English accent. His character.
Oh, it's true. But we could say this, right? Atlantis is massive.
Yeah, they all have different accents or whatever. Yeah,
different parts of Atlantis. Yeah. Because in America, they got different accents for different parts of the states.
Yeah.
I don't see why some parts wouldn't have English or upper class American accents to the point where they sound British. Even.
Yeah.
I mean, why does Atlantis have American accents anyways?
Yeah. None of it makes sense, but I get what you mean. That's one of the biggest things. When she spoke, I was like, wait. 2 hours ago when I watched the other one, she didn't have an accent. Yeah. Then I questioned myself, like, did she? I was like, no, she didn't, because in Aquaman, she doesn't have one either. And then my brain went into meltdown.
Silas Stone is also more relevant here. And so when he sacrificed himself, it's like, okay, yeah. But to be fair, he could have probably just disappeared from the rest of the movie as well if he wanted to cut it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to. I don't want to say he didn't need to die or whatever, but if you're trimming it, you could have got rid of some of his bits.
Yeah.
So then it wouldn't have really worked at the end where Cyborg's playing the recording of Silas Stone. He'd probably have to be physically there to tell him.
Yeah. It's kind of, like you said, it's kind of better that he does die.
Yeah.
It gives Cyborg more, like, relevance and, like, character development rather than, they're still alive.
Do have to say about the complaints about how Cyborg looked.
Yeah.
Previous, like in 2017 Justice League. Well, he could look kind of similar here.
Yeah, he is slightly.
No, go on.
No, I was agreeing with you. He did look slightly similar, but he looked more solid, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I meant design-wise.
Design-wise, yeah.
I would have thought the final design at the end of 2017 Justice League.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to happen somewhat in this. Like, he's not streamlined and stuff, but it doesn't kind of look like polygons.
Yeah. But no.
The final battle though was really good, but that's typical Zack Snyder forte. All the battles were good.
Yeah.
So I can't fault any of the action scenes. Zack Snyder is exactly what he's known for.
Yeah, they were. a lot beautiful. They were quite beautiful. It's really, really well shot. So, did you wanna not quickly, but go through each part and what we liked and disliked in each part, and then go
to be fair, I watched it in one go, so all the parts probably blurred together for me.
All right.
But you can go through, and then I'll make any comments on the way.
All right. So this is probably more spoiler territory. Yeah. So as we said, the film is split into parts, and well, like you said, the prelogue is just not the same as OG Justice League, as this one starts with
the over dramatic death of Superman.
Yeah,
I say over dramatic because what it is his screams of death ripple through the entire. I don't want to say the cosmos because that's actually over. That's completely over exaggerating it, but
yeah.
You know, the Atlanteans can hear it, the Amazons can hear it, and you know, Darkseid can hear it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
wouldn't a scream like that just kind of destroy? I don't say destroy life, but you know, the people in the very surroundings, like in the immediate vicinity.
It might have, who knows? But like, this scene was good. I like the whole epilogue stuff. I mean, yeah, the prologue stuff. But it would have been more impactful, like we said, if Superman was brought up to this point and then his death would have meant a lot more.
I think it came across to me. It came off as a quick recap of events previous.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch it, just to line up what's going on. Yeah. And it's fair enough for people that might not have watched the films previous. Some people just kind of they'll watch it whenever they watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been easier to start the film where Bruce is on his hike.
Yeah.
Already looking for Aquaman, but yeah, you got to let the people know Superman's dead because he doesn't appear for ages in this movie.
I think no, if they skipped the bit and you see Bruce on his hike for Aquaman, that would have been weird. Like,
no, fight. It's on his hike to
yeah, I'm saying like if they just skip to that bit, you'd be like that's too weird to come into a film.
I suppose they do kind of need to put a reason why he's there.
Yeah. So that was cool, and then this sort of made sense because there's a scene where Cyborg notices the mother box going off, and you're like,
yeah,
that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense later in the OG version when Cyborg just flies back and he has the mother box. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, he just found it.
Yeah, like
whatever.
Okay,
he found it. All right. Okay,
yeah,
moving on.
He never had it the whole time, so that was cool. And seeing Luthor talk to Steppenwolf why Superman was dying, I was like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, that part of that deleted scene from
the original
Batman vs Superman, which they put up online afterwards.
And yeah, so the mother box goes off. Everyone.
Wait. Was Steppenwolf's design different there?
Nah.
Okay. In the deleted scene.
Actually, no. I think the deleted scene was different. Yeah. I don't think he's sort of shaded out, so you don't actually see him. You see the outline of him, but you don't see him.
Okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Okay. Yeah. So the mother box goes off. Everyone's like, oh, and all the people have the mother box like, oh, what is this? These haven't gone off before, and yeah. So, and then, like you said, you see the bit where a masked man is with his horse in the middle of nowhere, and they are tracking through, the mountainsides, and they come to a little town, and that's when you notice, oh, this is Bruce Wayne. This scene's from the OG one. And he's going to that remote little village to find Aquaman, and then we get part 1. Don't count on it, Batman. And this is a longer version of when Batman meets, obviously, when Bruce meets Arthur, and there's more dialogue going on.
Yeah. Which,
again, gave a better backstory to what's going on in the film.
Yeah. Now, but the same problem occurs that previously occurred, where Bruce is talking to him, and then Aquaman's like just slinging out Bruce's identity. Oh yeah, dressed like a bat, I dig it, and stuff like that. No, he didn't say those exact words in this one.
Yeah.
But it's like Bruce Wayne, whatever. It's like there's people about.
No, in this one it's different because in the original he slings out his identity.
He calls him Bruce Wayne, and he said something about. He said something to him about something. Being whatever. I'm not sure the exact wording, but I'm just going to take into account these people are Icelandic or wherever they are. They don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, but in the original, he sort of says it in the bar. But in this one, he goes, "Oh, you dress like a bat." That's when they're outside, so when no one's around. So I was like, okay, that makes better sense.
No, because them singing women were around.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything about him, about him being Batman there.
No. Okay, maybe I'm mixing up. I'm pretty sure he did, but
no, he doesn't. Because I made note that, like, yeah, he doesn't introduce himself as Batman like he does in the original when they're in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I thought there was some implication of some sort, but that might be me just mentally got that scene in my head and then just placed it in there instead.
Yeah, because he doesn't say anything. Because then that's when the women start singing and Bruce turns around.
Yeah, and like all of us thinking, what?
Yeah, and then when he turns back, Aquaman's gone. But like in the original, that's when Aquaman jumps into the sea backwards and then swims off.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, bit of intrigue there. Woo. Yeah, part one was pretty good. Other bits I sort of liked was because it leads up a lot of bits. Like it's a bit kind of confused me because I don't know if they changed the location in both films, because in this one you see Martha Kent leaving Kent farm, and it looks like Clark's grave's on the farm. Or am I taking that wrong?
Okay. To be fair, it could be some sort of prop that looks like it's grave, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could draw that conclusion as well.
Yeah, because I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but I was like, but okay, because I'm pretty sure this scene's in both films. But anyway, yeah, so that threw me off. They also give another thing I like about this movie as well. Lois Lane and Martha Kent have a lot more parts in this. Because, like, you find out that Lois, ever since Superman's death, she goes to visit his memorial every day. Yeah, and it shows that she's never got over Superman's death, obviously. And in the other...
Let me just point out, though, we don't know how long this movie takes place prior to that movie. So it could have been like a week later, could have been a couple of months later. So, yeah. Though I agree with what you're saying, it could have just been really recent. If it was a year later, for example, in film, yeah, it shows that the effect that it had on her. So kind of, makes sense.
Yeah, because like in the other one, I think you see Lois like 3 times, right? If I'm correct. It's not.
Well, to be fair as well.
Yeah.
Here she doesn't. I mean, she's got not a huge amount of scenes either. She's got more scenes.
Yeah.
But like Martha as well that has more scenes, but she does not a huge amount of time spent with her either.
Nah, but they don't seem like in the other one. You seem like they're there just to be there, sort of thing. But in this version, they have
they were there in the previous version to push certain plots.
Yeah.
Or to propel the plot a little bit forward, or to tail end certain things.
Yeah. Which was annoying. So that's a nice little touch to it.
Yeah.
And we even get our first F-bomb of the film
which wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think this film was an R-rated film.
Yeah.
But none of them, it didn't need to be.
No. Like the violence in that, is what it is, but the 4 F-bombs.
To be fair, you know how it. Okay, funny enough, you can't have red blood.
Yeah.
But if you digitize the red blood to change it to whatever alien colored blood it is,
you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And if they're killing something that's not human, i.e., like the parademons, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like the F-bomb in the Wonder Woman scene, which is extended a bit longer than the original one.
Yeah.
When the guy just drops the F-bomb at the kids for no reason, like that's a bit.
Yeah.
Weird, but okay.
Sure. Is it? We're gonna make it edgier. All right, but why?
But like, I get the reason why the F-bomb is dropped, but it doesn't need to be needed because like to make it sort of realistic in those sort of situations, an F-bomb is going to be dropped.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. But with okay, this is all good thing when you talk about a realistic world.
Yeah.
And the real world, they didn't need it here. That's what.
No, they didn't need it.
What was funny though, he was saying it to a bunch of school kids. Like we're talking about primary school kids or no primary school, secondary school, late primary school kids.
Yeah,
a bunch of 11-year-olds or like 8-year-olds or whatever, and like okay. I
was like,
I don't know if it's funny or not, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just felt weird. I was like, there was no need, but okay, sure. And again, there was a nice little cute scene explaining Wonder Woman a bit more, like how she's a icon for women. When one little kids go, "Can I grow up to be like you?" And all done, she goes, "Girl, you can be whatever you want." I was like, that's cute.
Okay,
and that's something
I have to say as well, the extended action scene, like with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was they did the real time her deflecting bullets because her arms are just moving at super speed.
Yeah.
And then later on they did the slow-mo one. Now, I think they don't really need the one where she does it in real time because it kind of takes away from the moment where she moves in super speed.
Yeah.
In the slowed down one. So you basically had the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Didn't need it.
Should have one or the other.
And exactly. And so we're talking about when she does her double bracelet slam.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, about her signature maneuver, right?
Yeah.
She did it on Doomsday.
Yeah.
And she does it on Steppenwolf in this movie, right? And I don't want to say they tanked it or not, but they got propelled backwards, yeah?
Yeah.
She does it on some normal guy. He got liquefied. I mean, you can't tell me he obviously is not surviving, right?
No, he didn't.
But he got atomized. It's the only thing that was left is his hat.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
But even the rest of his body and clothes disintegrated. But I don't want to say she murdered him, but did she need to do that? It was a bit overkill.
Yeah, he tried to kill kids.
Yeah. I suppose the logic is there, but it's just like I don't see why you couldn't have just thrown your sword in his shoulder or something like that.
Nah.
You destroyed this guy.
He deserved it.
You sent a message, you know. And then she turned around. And then I'm just saying the tonal conflict is that she turns around and says to the school kids, you know, like you're saying that segment. It's just like, yeah, but they just saw you. They just saw what you did in front of them 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's like they were like if she didn't do that or she didn't save them, these kids won't be seeing anything.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that not that fact she saved them. Just
I know you mean though.
And then switch on to, oh yeah, well we're happy you saved us, even though, you know, this dude just disintegrated in front of us, but whatever.
Yeah, man, he deserved it anyway. And then
okay, we can argue the kind of way it wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't necessary. It looked cool, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Artistically, in its own scene, yeah.
But in a real world, mentally, that's not right because those kids are going to have like memories of nearly being murdered and then seeing a man liquefied. Two things you should never see in your lifetime. They've seen in less than 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So morally, it's wrong. So and then that scene was pretty cool. And then we get more backstory on the Amazons, which was cool. You know, because the other one, the Amazons literally did nothing. They just died.
They were there to be cannon fodder.
Yeah. But in this one, they had reason to be cannon fodder. So
yeah.
That sounded really bad.
To be fair, and I don't want to say, we could have seen him run through more Amazons, Steppenwolf. But kind of like, if something's happening, why are all your forces coming to join the fight? Oh, okay, to be fair, it was only 5 minutes later, right?
Yeah.
And they were getting ready to come down to wherever it was.
Yeah.
But once the box was going off at the time, so, you know, they could have been prepared beforehand to get it changed and whatever. Yeah. Up the horses and come down, you know? So it's fair. I do have to say also, unlike the previous version, you know, where they knocked down the towers?
Yeah.
And the whole thing fell into the sea. I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why it was in that specific area and built the way it was. And when they knocked down the pillars and stuff, they were just basically trying to trap him and drown him.
Yeah,
so it made sense.
I love that scene. I was like, that's like you said, like, that's pretty well thought out. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And then a little random fact as well. You know, all the women with their hammers that were knocking down the pillars. They're all famous CrossFit women.
Yep. You can just first of all you can tell by the abs, right? About makeup or not, but they still did looking women.
Yeah.
You know?
And in this scene, again, Steppenwolf, when, as the kids say, ham, he killed a crap ton. A crap ton.
Yeah.
Just slicing them, throwing horses at people.
Yeah. Now, I think the previous version in 2017 he had the help of a couple of parademons. There.
Yeah. This time, no, all him.
No, all him. Yeah,
all him. He just went out,
which makes him look really like from this point, anyways.
Yeah.
A good threat because obviously we don't know how powerful the actual Amazons are, other than Diana, who's daughter of Zeus, right? So she's more. We
say Lutu in this version, but don't Lutu in the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's more powerful. Than them, anyways. So it depends on the power level of where you think the Amazons are.
Yeah.
Will be how impressive Steppenwolf looks.
Yeah.
You know? To be fair, he's taken a bunch of them, and they I don't know, even though they're armed with bow and arrow and all those old school weapons.
Yeah.
He's still tanking all their hits.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of them. Just slinging them about like jabronis.
Yeah. And there was not a weird bit, but either like when he talked about sending the arrow that hasn't been seen in 5,000 years to man, I was like, oh, that makes a slight more sense than before. How was
though there was a line later on that Cyborg said that Diana's over 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they never said that within the movie that she was 5,000 years old. She just said that light had not been lit for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
And we know stories from, I don't want to say the biblical times, but Homer and the Iliad and all of it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we're the age of that. It just means they're passed down. So it could have just been. Yeah, it hasn't been lit for 5,000 years, but we've told stories through our generations.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we don't even know how the Amazons are anyway. So.
No. But it's just funny. It's like, man hasn't seen this in 5,000 years, but she knows what it would mean.
Exactly.
Wonderful man. Yeah.
Spin.
Yep, the greatest. And then we had part 2. Well, this part is called Age of Heroes, just like Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, gotta take you for a ride. It came to my head, but then I was like, 2 different universes. This is where you get a lot more backstory on Mr. Stefan Wolf, and he goes to Chernobyl, but I think they call it something else in this. I can't remember, they name it later on, but I forgot.
And to be fair, there was a reason he went there, and no. I thought it was Chernobyl. You thought it was Chernobyl. Yeah. They never mentioned it's Chernobyl, just to be kind of safe.
Yeah.
Right. But they were like, this area is toxic. It'll make a great base or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, the reason is there makes sense. Previously, we just thought it was, it was abandoned, and that's why he was there. But he chose it specifically because it was abandoned and it was toxic, and people aren't going to be around it.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're going to do. I mean, they're going to. The atmosphere is not going to. It's going to affect the people, anyone that's going to come to that place.
Yeah, so give them less people to come and like hunt for them. So I was like, again, more backstory that helps the story.
and it's funny enough, it's just a line worth of dialogue.
Yeah,
so I don't see why they couldn't have just kept it in.
No. And this is when Bruce comes back and he's like, Aquaman's not joining us. Alfred, have you found Barry Allen? Then they give a bit more backstory on Barry. Bruce. Also, another thing about this film, they do focus a lot on like Bruce feeling like a dick after killing Superman or helping Superman die.
here's the funny. That's why I'm saying the shift in character.
Yeah.
It's like it's a whole. As much as he was a different character in the 2017 Justice League.
Yeah.
He's also a different character here, just not to that extreme.
Yeah.
It's like in Batman vs Superman, he was just willingly going to kill Superman. Here's like, all right, I kind of regret doing what I did that led to his death.
Yeah.
But you're grim dark there, way over grim dark in Batman vs Superman, and here you're kind of where you should be.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
But you still kind of made it there in a very sharp turn.
Yeah. It's a bit jank. Yeah, that's what I say. And then a scene that I think later on in the original one is more sooner when you see Silas Stone, aka Miles Dyson from Terminator.
Yeah,
at the
man, he just loves his
every film he's in or anything he's in, he's that weird doctor who messes around with technology when he shouldn't.
Yeah. You probably didn't see it, but there's an episode of Smallville where he started mucking about with the meteors as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
See? He's in a town called Eureka, that TV show. Yeah. He's a scientist that does these weird things as well. It's his thing, man.
I don't know if it's a new joke or not for him, but it's kind of funny. He should keep it up.
I wonder if he really is got a scientific background, because maybe that's why they keep picking him. But yeah. And then this is the scene where the janitor gets kidnapped, which I think in the original, it's later on in the film.
Yeah.
So I was like,
no, okay. To be fair, it's probably early on in the actual runtime.
Yeah, but story-wise,
later in the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, and later, also in this chapter, we're introduced to Ryan Choi.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
cool. I
I'll
kind of say, I can understand kind of this, like, okay, don't want to say he's not necessary on it. However, for the runtime purposes, he could have been cut.
Yeah,
because he doesn't do anything significant.
No,
it doesn't do anything that affects the story either.
No,
that he doesn't. Yeah. Even though it's good to see.
Yeah,
I see diversity there, and Ryan Choi could be the Atom in this universe.
Yeah.
Just like, you're there just to be there.
Yeah.
As a name character. You could be any name character. In fact, Silas Stone could have just absorbed his role.
Yeah.
And would have made a difference.
Technically, he does in the OG version.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like you said, that was cool. Like, oh, cool, Ryan's getting his spot. Maybe this was meant to be, a sign of what's to come in the future.
Well, let's put it this way, though.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder put Jimmy Olsen in Batman vs Superman, quote unquote, as a CIA agent in the extended cut, just to kill him off for fun. He's saying it's a cameo, boys.
Yeah.
It needs to go for the people. Just like you brought a character in just to kill him, just to wink and nod the audience. So
but the thing about the Jimmy Olsen thing, they never confirmed if it was officially Jimmy Olsen. It was just the name.
Yeah.
So
it's true. I mean, it could have been his spy name. It could have been his cover name. However, I'm just saying he did it there. Just saying.
So his track record is
exactly
spoiled at this point.
So he might not have done. He might have done something with him. To be fair, not in the nightmare scene. So he might not necessarily have done anything with him.
Yeah, you never know. Or he could have been in the next nightmare scene that would have been in Justice League 2.
Yeah. We'll just keep it at like it's a nice appearance of a character that could have potentially done something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they chose him instead of, not to be racist, white man Ray Palmer.
Now, okay, let's just pause here for a second and say, all these heroes at the time they were created were mostly white. So, if they did cast Ray Palmer and he's a white guy, you can't really argue it. The original character was kind of like that. So it's more of when it's come up through the decades, they started a better diversity. But like you say, it's good they chose Ryan Choi instead of Ray Palmer.
Yeah.
Whether it amounts to anything or not, it's just like
it doesn't matter.
It's another person of
of colour. Yeah. And then we get another little backstory of what Diana Prince has been doing. She's a sculptor in somewhere in Europe.
And I'm just going to point out as well,
Yeah.
just for runtime purposes, if you want to trim bits. So
Yeah.
when you mention bits that I think can be trimmed, I'll just point out, maybe
Yeah.
this will save them a bit. But this bit here could have just saved them a bit of time because she shot the arrow, yes,
Yeah.
but she didn't need to be at the workplace. She could have just kind of skipped to the bit where she found it. You didn't need this little 2-minute segment to show.
I don't know.
I mean, you just need to show that she noted there was an arrow that was at the where was it?
Somewhere in Greece, I think.
Somewhere in Greece, yeah. I forgot what it's called. But I was just saying, you could have done it as from a. She heard a radio something. You could have trimmed.
They could have trimmed the scene down a bit. Yeah. They didn't need that whole. Like, how long do you say? Like 5 minutes of it. They could have trimmed that down.
I mean, you could have been. She's in a coffee shop or wherever, right?
Yeah.
And she saw on TV. That would cut the entire scene down to like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But then, to help you know that she hasn't got over what happened in Wonder Woman 1.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not criticizing. I'm just
no, you mean
saying, just pointing out for trimming purposes.
Yeah, that could have she sees it and she's like, oh, okay, cool, it's landed in Greece.
Yeah,
and she knows it's her mum. She goes there, and then they mention another good thing. I might have got this wrong. They mention DOD, don't they? In this film. I think Silas mentions that the DOD wants something with the cube. Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. Shout out to the DOD. And this is where the Batman picture comes up as well. Because like in the original, they're just a sketch of Batman who people thought the parody him, but people thought was Batman. But in this, they explain it, which I thought, okay, they could have kept I'll say they could have kept that in the original, because when you see the Batman sketch in the original one, you're like, I don't get where's it come from.
Yeah. No. In the original, they did mention that people were getting kidnapped.
Yeah. But it's later on, like story-wise, it's a bit later on. You don't know about people getting kidnapped because, like we say, when a janitor gets kidnapped in the runtime original, that's way after this scene. Right after the scene when Gordon and Agent Christmas are talking about it. So that's a bit weird. And then after this, like in the original, Victor's dad, Silas, gets kidnapped. And you're like, oh no. They were looking for the mother box, but they didn't find it. So they're going to kidnap him. And I can't remember. No, it's later on. I'll get to a bit what I thought was hilarious. Then another scene that was cut, which I think should have stayed in the original, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me on this one. When Donna goes to the secret tomb with the arrow.
Yeah.
And gives a whole backstory in the pictures. You're like, you could have kept that in the original.
Yeah. I mean, it's more significant here.
Yeah.
Not to say, I mean, kind of, you do need to show why they are fearing an impending doom to a degree.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I could say you could cut all the dark side stuff out because he's not necessarily significant to this particular story. You can save him for the next story. But they need to show that he's some sort of threat.
Yeah.
At least he's there.
Yeah.
Because if you were to cut that scene, you'd have to cut a whole quite a bit, you'd have to reshoot a whole bunch of stuff that Darkseid's involvement.
Yeah.
But you couldn't really have the end scene where he's crushed, he's crushed his Steppenwolf's slashed up head without, unless you wanted to show a Thanos cameo at the end.
Yeah.
But it depends on how much they wanted to build him.
Yeah.
They could have just done it as a last scene cameo. Or, like you say, explain some backstory here.
Because I can't remember. In the original, I don't think in Batman vs. Superman, if I'm correct, They mention Darkseid slightly, don't they? Not by name.
The bells have been rung. There's something, right? There's something about, right? In the original 2017 as well, Darkseid's more of I don't want to say a verbal presence because he's not. I don't think he's mentioned at all. He's just like there's something above Steppenwolf.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that's a bit weird. Yeah, and then there's an extended little scene of when Aquaman saves that guy on the shipping boat that's sinking.
Yeah. And as cool as a character moment could have been, one time you could have just sliced it.
Yeah. But
it's actually quite fun though. I think it's a cool scene where he's just like save the guy. It's happened multiple times. It's like, oh goodness, because the attitude of the character is like, effing hell, man, again.
Yeah, because like I agree with you. They could have cut this scene from this version because the other version, even they could have cut. That made no sense. The other one because he saves him and he goes, oh, drinks on this guy. Then he drinks from that glass and then he has green stuff on his hand, which I'm assuming is kryptonite.
No. It was blood of a parademon.
Yeah, that's it. But they don't have it in this scene.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm like.
I mean, you could surmise from the previous version there was a parademon attack or something like that, and he either had to fight off screen with the parademon, or it happened to him prior to him saving the boat in that one. But here it's just like
even that makes no sense. Then they should have the scene where he's fighting a parademon.
Yeah, it would have been cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. This scene in general for both should not exist. I mean, like, It's
At least in the previous one, there's an explanation for it. Here, like you're saying, it's something happening, and he's just like, whatever's causing the waves to be a bit. Oh, even now, you don't even know if it's just happened to be another wave.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've just this particular fisherman, or these other fishermen are just like running in the ocean and whatever. It's just like a typical day for him.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah.
And then we get a nice little scene, the underwater bit when he goes to see William Dafoe's character, which I can't remember what his actual name is of the character.
Volker.
That's it. I like that scene. I was like, okay, again, it explains where he got the trident and the suit from.
Yes.
Rather than just turning up.
And I would say you can slice it, but like you say, there's relevant points to it. So unless you do a reshoot where he picks them up somehow, it kind of it leads to certain things. I don't know, unless you're going to reshoot it with Amber Heard Mera giving it to him.
Yeah.
You could slice this back out and put it later.
But at least it makes sense now that when he turns up in the tunnel that he's got the trident and his proto Aquaman suit.
Yeah.
And I did like that they made reference to his brother Orm, Ocean Master. So yeah, that's cool. Building up things. And then another bit that sort of popped me, is you see Steppenwolf finally talk to Desard, and it's through that melting metal tablet thing.
Yeah.
Which looks awesome, but I don't understand what it is.
Well, we're going to say, I'm going to argue that it's probably the same technology that Kryptonians use for their talking devices in Man of Steel. Or not the exact same, but similar technology, something like that. It's just like, okay, I don't want to say it's a gimmick for the sake of being a gimmick. It looks cool for the sake of being cool, but if for it could have just been a little hologram thing instead.
Yeah, it could have.
They really wanted to.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Desard is voiced by Candyman. What's his name?
Tony Todd.
Yeah. It sounded like him.
But you don't know for sure. You're just saying it
I'm not 100% sure. I should actually Google it before I
No. It's not him. It's not him. It's someone else. It's a dude called Peter Guinness.
Bloody hell, John. Yeah, and then they also mention when they're having a little talk, it gives like Steppenwolf's backstory, like he's been abandoned.
Yeah.
Because
did they, by the way, mention that his relation to Darkseid here? I don't think they did, right? He's just kind of a minion of Darkseid without being a sort of direct relation.
I think they mentioned it.
Did they?
I think he calls him his nephew.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. I think
like his nephew in it.
I think so. I think there is actually, funny in this version, yes. In the previous version, I don't think there was.
No, they gave him no backstory whatsoever.
But it could be us just projecting as well.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Like, oh, cool. He finally has like a reason.
I would know is that he was exiled to some degree
because he promised Darkseid 5,000 worlds,
50,000 whatever. 50,000 you know how it is, right? Wait. Yeah. You know how it is when you borrow money from a loan shark, and the interest keeps on going up. That's what's happening here. It's like, I mean, not to say I was in a comedy or whatever, right? But, Steppenwolf going, I got you all these ones. No, the interest has gone up, boy.
Like,
you need more worlds before you come back.
It's like, I'm pretty sure there's not 50,000 worlds. Yeah, well, you gotta somehow find that for me. Like,
yeah, exactly. Cool. Give my money. Give my
money, fool. And I thought that was cool. And then he mentions the Green Lanterns. It's like, Green Lanterns. Yeah. And then we have an extended Wayne Enterprise aeroplane hangar scene with Bruce and Diana.
Yeah.
And she actually explains the war between
old
Earth with the tribes and the Greek gods and the Atlanteans and Green Lantern.
Some random, was it one or two? I think it was just one Green Lantern there.
Yeah, one Green Lantern, and they actually said who the Greek gods were. It was Zeus and his son Ares. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Ares would be there because Ares likes to fight.
Yeah, he likes a good ruck.
Yeah, he likes, before slamming some beers. And this is where they changed a lot from the original fight scene in the old one, because in the old one it's Steppenwolf that comes and then he leaves because he gets embarrassed. In this one, it's actually the Lord himself, my savior, Darkseid.
In his birth name, what is it?
It's Urak.
Yeah, that's it, Urax. Yeah, but so we're just gonna call in. This version is probably it's the equivalent of pre-Akuma Goku.
Yeah, we'll call him Lightside.
Goku. Yeah, Goku. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, this is Lightside.
Yeah, exactly. To a degree, I mean, look, they could defeat him here, but when he powers up to how many thousand millions of years later or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then he's a bigger threat because
he's King Darkseid up.
Yeah, so at this point he can take a hit. He can take him.
And you find again to give more of an origin to the Mother Box. That it was basically, I want to say three witches, and the Mother Boxes were their essence in a way. It was weird, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And Darkseid gets beaten like a chump. Well, not like a chump, but he gets beaten because he gets an axe to his shoulder by my boy Ares, and Zeus lightning bolts him away.
And then the ship gets shot by one of the it looks like an Amazon, but it could be like the
I think it might be a Mayan god or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the Greek god of hunting? I want to say Artemis, but that's actually an Amazon.
But that's the Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's just an Amazon named after. Maybe it's one of the gods.
Yeah.
Who Artemis is actually named after. Maybe that one.
Yeah, it's a god, and it's a cool.
It is Artemis.
It is Artemis. Okay.
Yeah, cool. But not no. I'm not saying the character was Artemis.
Yeah, no, the character is the god Artemis.
The Greek god of hunting.
Okay.
And we'll just assume she shot down because she's using a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
That she shot down Darkseid's spaceship. Yeah. And then there's probably an Amazon who's also named Artemis later on somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe.
who takes her namesake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this scene was
But that's us, by the way. That's us.
That's us speculating.
Yeah, exactly. We're just imprinting what makes sense to us. That's
our interpretation,
Yeah. I mean, you got Zeus there and you got Ares. Why wouldn't there be another god?
It could be weird it would be a mind god, wouldn't it? It'd be a bit weird.
Yeah.
But then they wasn't there Mongolian soldiers there as well?
Well, you know what? To be fair, she didn't mention. She had the forces of man, so we could have been any forces of man at that point.
But yeah, it was cool. A lot better than the original version, in my opinion.
Bigger, more spectacular.
Yeah.
Was it necessary for Darkseid to chop off Green Lantern's hand?
Yes.
Well, it kind of made sense in the context where the ring was floating away, and then he was going to look like he was going to try and grab it.
Yeah.
They could have shot an angle where the hand came off, but you didn't see it on camera. But like we were saying before, CGI aliens can take hits. Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah.
Not if they look humanoid enough, but not actually human. You can do that.
Yeah, but if they look anything like a human, then R-rated. And then another weird thing in this scene, but they explain it later, when Darkseid hits the Earth and all them like not Darkseid, Lightside hits all the Earth, and like that weird writing comes on the ground.
Yeah, the Omega symbol. You mean?
Yeah, the Omega symbol and some other things like that's going to mean something eventually, and it does later on.
Yeah.
And then this chapter, where it ends when Bruce is like, we need to find our new age of heroes.
Yes.
Cool. Then we got part 3, Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. This chapter is basically just giving more backstory to both Barry Allen and Victor Stone and how they...
Yeah. Now you notice as well.
Yeah.
It's taken 2 chapters to get to this point where it's starting to get backstory on the characters that haven't previously developed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an hour in.
Yeah.
Essentially, like okay, well that's a bit of
Yeah. Like I was saying before, not like on a tangent or anything. Film wise, this would be annoying, but like I said, if you saw it as they'd done it as like a TV miniseries, this is the point where normally in these sort of shows that happens. By like episode 3, they sort of introduce.
Yeah.
So
you can do it in the TV series.
Yeah. In a film, you're like, why are you taking this long to get to this point?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is when you realise Barry Allen is a much better character than he was in the original version, because he's just a hyperactive child in that one. And there's a new, like in this scene, when Barry saves Iris in slow motion, I really liked how that was filmed. I thought it was really cool.
No, I also liked it, but I realized like for time constraints, it literally could have been, they could have like they do. She's walking out, he's walking in.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was a coffee shop, right? It's not because we're on a slim down time here.
Yeah.
So they walk past each other in the coffee shop. If he just keeps his eyes on her, or she keeps her eyes on him.
Yeah.
Go through the car, bam. You could have just ignored all the job interview. Yeah, you could have sliced out all the job interview stuff and saved yourself. A good couple of minutes.
Because I get the job interview part. Yeah. Because it's sort of...
Well, for the joke afterwards.
Yeah, the joke part afterwards. And it sort of gives you more of a backstory. Backstory how Barry Allen is. How he's like a sort of happy-go-lucky guy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. You're sort of building him up that way.
Yeah.
And then this bit, I could see why they got rid of, but I liked it anyway. Is when you see Steppenwolf kidnap some Atlanteans, and he's like, dudes, where the mother box at, yo? And they're like, I ain't gonna tell you, fool. He's like, cool, and he kills him. So I was like, okay, that's cool. They've added that mind reading device, which I liked. There's little weird nano spider things.
Yeah.
But again, I can see why they got rid of this scene.
Yeah. Now, did they ever explain how he just found the mother box in Themyscira? No, he just teleported there and just decided to whoop ass.
Yeah.
He could have just done the exact same thing here. Like in the 2000. Yes, it makes more sense, but then it just opens up to how did he find the island of the Amazons? Like without any help.
Because like in the 2017 version, it kind of makes sense because he was the one who fought against them back in the day. So he would kind of know where they would
even
be.
If it's however many years later. 1,000 years later.
But in this one, if they did a scene where he did the same thing with the Amazons where he kidnapped them, then they were like, okay, that makes sense. But he just turns up there, doesn't he?
Yeah. But they couldn't, obviously, because then the magical island that's locked away from the rest of humanity. So you can't.
Yeah.
It'd be still odd.
Yeah.
But to put this in and then not put the other scene where he's interrogating Amazons or whatever, it's just like, okay, now you're pointing out something's a bit odd.
Yeah. Because even when he finds tries to look for the next one, it makes sense because he's using the thing again, saying where's the mother box to the humans.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 3 makes no sense to do that. You would do it to all.
Yeah.
But it's a little nitpick and whatever.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, it was slice of time.
Yeah. So it makes sense. And then we get another nice little scene, which I thought was nice, when Lois is, still down on her luck, crying.
Yeah.
And she brings out her memory box of Clark. She's like, oh, there's his cape. Bless. Yeah. But then I thought to myself...
With a hole in it, right?
Yeah. I was like, how did she get that, though? Because I'm pretty sure they would have took that for evidence, right?
Either that, okay. No, not to speculate, she could have just stripped off his body after he put him off Doomsday, but
true.
The naked Superman is going to be very odd.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure when I saw him, like the military guys, I'm pretty sure when we saw him earlier, he had a cape. Where is it now?
Where's his entire bodysuit?
Yeah, exactly. Unless,
Was he naked all this time?
Unless the government know that Clark is Superman and then they let them take the body to make... You know what I mean? It might be some weird contrived reason behind it. But,
No, okay. Well, there's no explanation for that, I guess. No. I mean, not that... You can only say that she got given it afterwards, but then why would she be given it?
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Because it wasn't like they were married at this point. Like, if they were married or something, then I can understand them giving it.
I mean, no one knows that she knows that Superman is Clark Kent, so why would that have any significance to her?
Yeah.
I mean, there were some people that saw them making out in the rubble of... Not making out, kissing.
Yeah.
And in the rubble of Metropolis and Man of Steel, but them people are not going to have the power to give her, like, the stuff from the government.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The general guy from Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman?
The Master Manhunter.
Spoiler, even though we're going to come to it. Maybe he knows them both, and because he's that higher up, he was able to get it and give it to her. That's only...
Okay, now I'm going to back you up, but then not back you up here.
Yeah, go
He does know her, right?
Yeah.
But how does he know that she is with Superman to any degree?
Martian. He can read minds, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but then you're I don't want to say you're making leaps of...
Yeah, no,
you're putting pieces together to fit a puzzle.
But he does, though, because when he pretends to be Martha Wayne...
Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna go with... No, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the naked Superman crew where they took her clothes off. No, I'm joking.
Batman can do that. He's quick.
There is kind of no real explanation.
No.
Unless you're gonna say after they took his body, they dressed him for a few... Well, okay, here's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Because Clark's actual body is buried in Smallville.
Yeah.
So, and the military buried an empty box, I think Bruce was saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it could have happened sometime between then.
Yeah, it could happen. Makes sense.
But then they would have to explain why Clark was naked.
I don't know. Well, they could just make it look like he died in a rubble explosion. So I don't know. They'd
have to switch his clothes and stuff like that. But she could have easily got the clothes from if Bruce was doing the job. Hiding. Okay, it could have been that.
Could have done that, yeah. And then there's just another scene from Batman vs Superman where this time Bruce and Diana are watching the footage of Cyborg and Flash discussing it.
Yeah,
could have been cut, to be fair.
I think the joke though, the Aquaman joke was pretty good. The more or less joke. But yeah, for time constraints, if you just need to they need to as well to say, Diana, you go to Cyborg, and Bruce, I'm going to go to get Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But they could have done it a different way to trim it up. So you take him, I'll take him, and let's go.
Yeah. Which all could be just done over a phone call as well. But
exactly.
And then one of the best parts of the film, where we get more of a backstory for Cyborg. Yeah. He wasn't a background character in this film like he was in the last one. This whole bit was cool. I really liked it. It showed how he became Cyborg, the car crash.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah, he's a cyborg now. Get used to it, like in the original one.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing as well. Was the drama with his dad? They kind of set it up where his dad didn't come to his football games. They were kind of having some sort of beef to begin with.
Yeah.
And they got exacerbated here when the dad saved him.
Yeah.
And used the mother box to put him inside his body.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, oh, okay, Cyborg should be happy that he's alive or anything like that. I mean, you wouldn't change your attitude to whoever if they've already not wronged you in the past, but kind of let you down in previous times. You're going to have some built-up anger towards them. But this makes sense of how the Mother Box can rebuild your cells to then resurrect Superman, because I don't want to say they make a jump to a conclusion, but they kind of have a little bit buildable basis at this point.
Yeah, because in the other one, you don't really know what the Mother Box does, or how it brought Cyborg back to life. But
or why that Bruce suddenly decides the Mother Box can do the job.
Yeah.
How does he know? He doesn't. Yeah. Okay, just because I've decided that he can.
Yeah, even though I'm Batman.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's kind of not really. In like by the previous version, it's like, by the power of Batman, I command the Mother Box to be the thing that resurrects.
Yeah. And this one actually was science that gave him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked the bit where I don't know if it's this bit or later on where Cyborg helps the woman by like giving her money.
Oh, okay. Now that's a very, very, very tricky situation.
Yeah.
Because the money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
He's made the person. Okay, he's wanting to help the woman.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right? But
it's fraud.
Someone's lost money to do that. I'm just saying it's meant to look like a good
heroic thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because he's Cyborg and like they say he's basically be all end all of the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
He can create money. He might have to take it from someone else.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
But I get you.
I assume that he just moved. Yeah, okay. To be fair, yes, but that physical cash has got to move from somewhere to somewhere to make it come out. You know.
Yeah.
And you don't know what issues this lady was having previous to the point where she's down on her luck. For all we know, she could have been a druggie or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how she got the financial troubles.
All we know.
I'm assuming though he did his background research.
Check. Yeah. Because he's Cyborg.
But there could have been some other issues previous to that, and that's how she got into her state. You don't know if giving this lady money is actually a good idea.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be done in a good light for the character.
Yeah.
I think they could have just used another device to do the similar things without having you think this lady, who knows how she got in her situation to begin with.
True. Like, they could have elaborated a bit more, but then that's more screen time take up for nothing.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, like, fair enough. I mean, I might just say cut the scene.
Yeah. Because like, they could have done some stupid thing like her husband died when Superman was fighting Zod, and that's why. But then that's just too much.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not saying it's necessary or not. It's just that it shows a good character, but for the time constraints, you could have just sliced it.
Yeah, I can see why it was in there. This bit made me laugh very. You see the parademon outside Victor's house, right? On the fire escape. Yeah. And then he hears a police siren and flies away. Why is a parademon scared of the police?
No, he could have been scared of bright, shiny lights. And white noise.
But he's a bright, shiny light thing himself. So it's like... Dude,
and he screeches, so he also does white noise.
Yeah, so it's like, dude... If any situation, if the police do come, what can they do to you?
Yeah, it's true.
You're a parademon.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. All right.
I mean, are you saying they could have just? There was nothing to it. They could have just. Okay, I think like to show they're lurking about and they are closing in on Cyborg.
Yeah.
But you probably could have just sliced it because later on, I don't want to say it's not significant later on, but you didn't need it either. You could have just saved yourself a little bit more time.
Yeah. So that was, I just found that I literally.
I mean, it's one thing though.
Yeah.
If I do believe he breaks in to Star Labs.
Yeah.
But he doesn't break into Cyborg's house to look for anything. So kind of, could have just had him straight Star Labs break in.
I just found it. I had to pause it and laugh because like this makes no sense.
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to do, but
yeah,
you're a parademon. You do not abide by our laws. You know what I mean? Like, so why do it? And then more Barry Allen and his dad scenes that again helps Barry Allen as a character.
Yeah.
And makes you feel sorry for Henry Allen.
Yeah.
There's another bit in this scene that made me laugh because it made no sense. No, that made me laugh, but even in the original, it kind of angered me.
Yeah.
You know when he's like, when the guards are like, "Oh, time's up, Alan, you've got to go." I was like, why are these guards such a dick to him? Because I'm pretty sure from my interpretation again, I'm pretty sure he's like a model criminal. Well, inmate, because I'm pretty sure he's not in a gang or anything or causing trouble.
Well, yeah, but okay. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's done to make you sympathise with Henry Allen a bit more because he's wrongfully imprisoned. But doing like that, it's just like, we're doing it just to do it for the sympathy vote. Because later on, when Barry gets a job and the Henry Allen's, guys, my son's got a job. It's like, no, these guys were dicks to you previously.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Like, you really have sympathy for him already because he's in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah.
So
either they should dislike him, or they should like him, or they should not care about him to that degree.
Yeah, exactly.
But and we were saying you could shave 10 seconds off here with that ending, right?
Yeah, in both.
I mean, like, look,
both
as much as we're saying slice off this and that,
yeah,
shaving off 10 seconds here and there, or 2 minutes here and there, well, it does add up eventually.
Yeah, of course.
So you could get this probably in a 3 hour, like we're saying, something like that.
But the last 10 seconds of this scene could have been cut off in the original as well. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we finally get the meeting between Batman and Barry Allen, which is a lot different from the original version, as it's not as cutesy because there's not K-pop blurring out in the background and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they get rid of the brunch joke.
Yeah. Okay. It's similar, but not. I mean, like they're similar but different. It's like the basic
plots were there.
Yeah. And then how they're not as like you say, they're not as jivey.
Yeah. They're not trying to be hip and stuff. Yeah. And then another weird scene which I thought was funny was Alfred telling Wonder Woman how to make tea. Like being really controlling about it. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Disorder.
I found that funny as well because it's not like he was micromanaging her or anything like that but he's so used to making it.
Yeah. He had to.
Even though someone politely asked if they can make it themselves, he's like, yeah, you can.
You can. But I'm gonna
I don't want you to.
Yeah, it's literally like I was waiting for him to button and go, no, I'll do it. But he didn't do that. Because I think that would be more funny if he just buttoned and said, no, I'll do it halfway through. Like, yeah, you go. I need to do this.
Yeah. And then she's like, do you want some?
Yeah,
no. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you need to do that. Yeah, you can leave a little bit. Just, a little bit for me. But you don't need to make it.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's kind of, I don't want to say typical butler behavior, but he's
done it for so long.
Yeah. And he's so used to doing it himself.
Yeah.
For Bruce, that he's kind of like, he's not expected anyone to do stuff for him.
Yeah. So
it's like, it's funny. You could slice it completely, but
yeah,
it's a good joke.
And then the next part, it's a bit weird that they cut it.
Yeah.
When you see Alfred like making adjustments to Bruce Wayne's suit.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, why did they keep this? They should have kept this. They could have slimmed it down a bit, but kept it because it explains a lot about the gauntlets that Batman has. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It was pretty in this movie.
Yeah.
This version is really necessary.
Yeah.
In the previous version, yes, you could explain why all of a sudden his gauntlets are able to take energy blasts.
Yeah.
That you don't know what kind of devices the parademons are shooting.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna say, goddamn, Batman's gauntlets simply can.
Yeah.
All right, I suppose I can accept that.
Yeah.
But it's different from being able to deflect bullets, which he usually
counters.
to alien technology, which he doesn't seem to have encountered before. Yeah. Even if you're going to say laser blasts, who's got the money to make laser blasts that he's going to have to fight on in everyday life? So it makes sense here because then he makes the suit out of that same sort of stuff later on.
Yeah, which is cool. And then Victor drops an F-bomb when he meets Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they shortened, in a way, the way Diana meets Victor on the internet. Rather than him saying, Diana Prince, why are you looking for me? Blah, 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 blah. He just hacks and says, meet me here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I guess that's to be this version's better. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, still confused about him dropping the F-bomb. It's so weird.
Yeah.
F the people.
It's R-rated is all I can say about that.
And in this version as well, Victor's doesn't care that people know he's a robot or a cyborg, sorry, because just in this version when they meet, he's just in his cyborg attire. Rather than the original, he's got the hoodie on, looking all mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I say more of the previous movie was kind of him coming to terms with being the cyborg, like you're saying.
Yeah.
He not he's ashamed of it, but he's just like, this is what I look like now, and I can't mentally get over the barrier. Whereas here, like you say, he just kind of sheds that.
Yeah.
And it's more about how he develops into a superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, depending on which story arc you wanted to go through, you could have pushed it. You could have go either side of that.
Oh yeah. It fits both for both versions.
Yeah.
How they've done it in both of them. Yeah. And then Victor decides to go to his mother's grave to bury the mother box. Random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only to pick it up later on as well. So kind of like, what was the point?
Yeah. Silly boy.
Yeah.
And then another thing that comes into play later on, that Dr. Silas Stone and Ryan Cho find out that there's some rock in Zod's spaceship that is super hot, which comes to play later. I was confused about this when I saw it now. And then we finally get the abduction of Silas by the parademons, because they realise no one's at home this time and there's no police around. We can break in and kidnap him.
Yeah.
And another random F-bomb is dropped in Gotham Police Department. One of the little background characters drops an F-bomb. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Uncalled for.
So I don't know if you know this, but I think in a PG-13 film, you can drop one F-bomb.
Yeah.
And you can say bloody a couple of times.
Yeah.
But in an R-rated film, you can say it a bit more. There's limits to how many you can say it, but if we only drop the F-bombs here just to push it into an R-rated, it's like...
Yeah, what's the point?
Was it necessary?
Yeah, a lot of them, there's no point for them. There's one at the end.
The last one at the end, I kind of accept.
Yeah, same.
It does make sense to be where it is.
Yeah.
Was it necessary? Probably not either. But
the world ends in that. Where the world is at that point. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
There's another added bit which I thought was cool when Mira's prepping her guys to fight Steppenwolf, and Mira she does quite a lot against Steppenwolf when she tries to suffocate him, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, she used her powers in quite a neat way.
Yeah, and I like how they changed in this, but then it kind of a problem later in the Aquaman films is when they're in water, they sort of speak like dolphins, like woo, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they do the air pockets, obviously they talk like normal, but then.
But we could say, for the sake of visualization, they are speaking like that in the Aquaman film. It's just that we, as viewers, are being shown the normal way because, we're going to understand the trilling with subtitles and stuff like that. It just be even more odd.
Yeah. And then Steppenwolf's about to kill Mira, and Aquaman comes and saves the day.
Yeah.
And he gets beaten up. And Steppenwolf's like, I got the mother box. Peace out, y'all. And leaves. Literally. And this is another problem that I've had. And I only clocked it onto today. Mira, when she meets Aquaman again here,
Yeah.
and she's like, both my parents died during the war, and your mother took me in.
Yeah.
But her father's in Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, we don't know if it's adopted father or not.
Yeah, true.
But
he could be because
in either case. Yeah, I'm trying to find a reasoning, but you can't.
Because if they're going comic book way, isn't she from a different dimension?
I can't remember exactly, but look, the way I can make this work in my head is simply this, right?
Yeah.
So Queen Mera was Aquaman's mother, of course.
Yeah.
She took Mera in, and she also remarried Dolph Lundgren, right? So technically, you can still work as family.
Yeah.
Even though it would be like stepfather, but then you could call him your father. You know how it is. But then again, Dolph Lundgren would have to be there, because then Orm then has to not overthrow him, but he's just like, well, you were married to my mother, and I overthrew her, kind of, and you are going to step back and allow me to do it.
Because I'm thinking about it now, she couldn't remarry because after Orm, doesn't she get thrown into the trench?
We don't know for the period of time. Because, Aquaman was a baby at that point, and then all of a sudden he's 30-year-old plus Jason Momoa. So we don't know what happened in between all that period of time.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I can say. And also, we're trying to make sense of our plot hole here.
Yeah, there's no point. So that threw me off on both of them. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then this chapter ends with Steppenwolf going back, boasting about, yeah, I've got the third mother box, blah. And he talks to the side, and so I was like, yeah, you need to torture the hostages so we know where the third mother box is.
Yep.
Then part 4, called The Changing Machine, is basically just them getting ready to fight. No, it gives you more backstory about the mother boxes and why the one on Earth is now in America because the Nazis took it, and then the Americans beat the Nazis and brought it to America.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know. It kind of makes sense that it's not randomly where it is, just happened to be there.
Yeah.
To be fair, in the original, it was like a group of Vikings or whatever looked like, somewhere in Europe. That's where the mother box is. So it does make sense that you'd have to have it transported to America somehow. And if you're going to say the Nazis took it in World War II, it does breach the gap.
Yeah, and it does make sense because the whole theory about the World War II, where Hitler was looking for mystical things to help him win the war.
Well, it depends on if you're saying that Captain America was happening in this universe.
No, because it's a real thing. Because apparently he was looking for the Spirit of Destiny as well, in real life, to help him.
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense with the Nazis.
Oh no. When you say supernatural, kind of like how legit supernatural is.
Oh, no.
Mythic items, all that may or may not exist, but when you're saying, I think you could work it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have the infamous meeting on the top of GCPD with Batman and Gordon and the rest of the Super Friends.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
same
thing,
I was saying, really. The tone of this movie is fine.
Yeah.
But Batman being a legit killer in the previous movie, why would James Gordon still be working with him? And they're saying, 20 years, he was out of Gotham for 20. He was Commissioner Gordon saying to one of the co-workers, he's been in Gotham 20 years. You think he'd start kidnapping people randomly? Yeah, right? But in the previous movie, he was in Gotham for 20 years and he was killing people. So
exactly. So
I don't see how. Yeah. If anything, kidnapping is a step down from murder.
You get less time in prison for it.
Yeah.
But this is when I sort of noticed. They didn't think about this part. They didn't think that far about Justice League when they were writing this film.
Yeah. Well, even if they did, the course correction is a bit too apparent. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. That makes it quite obvious. And then this sets up...
Especially if you watch these films back to back, by the way, then you're like...
You notice these things really well.
Yeah.
And then this gets to the scene where they fight underneath Gotham. But not Gotham Island. Sorry, Arkham. Is it Arkham?
The Harbour, the Gotham
Harbour.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little cool dialogue when Cyborg goes to Batman. I heard about you. I didn't know you was real. And he goes, I've always been real. Something like that. It's just something weird. Like,
just like in the trailer that was cut.
Yeah.
To be fair, it probably could have been shaved, but it added a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's useful. Did you notice though, through parts of this entire fight and scene, Batman's voice was a bit weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was. I mean, because the robot, not the robot voice, but the
voice modulator,
voice changer, was fine. But then sometimes when you're speaking longer sentences, it's kind of
hard to understand, right?
Yeah, I don't want to say a bit more robotic or echoey, but just like more the pitching was a bit off key.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off a bit as well.
Now this this led to some cool scenes, by the way, where the Flash was evading a parademon shot that's basically point blank at him.
Yeah.
Batman realizing his teammates like Cyborg and Flash are not going to be particularly useful, and just like rescue the hostages. I'll make sure that you guys can get them away.
Yeah.
Because they're new to ability, so he's only strategically making sense. And he's like, Diana, is going to fight Steppenwolf because she's
Diana,
the only one there that's kind of on his level. I mean, she's way powerful than everyone else.
Yeah, but
no one else can be able to take on Steppenwolf to buy them time.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry about it really compared to Cyborg and Super.
Yeah.
Cyborg and the Flash.
Now, Flash running up the stairs.
Yeah, was annoying.
I was like, yeah, okay, but why didn't you just? I mean, even in the previous version, 2017, he grabbed people and he moved them to different locations.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just run them all up there? You could have had so much more time.
I thought the same thing. I was like, you're not saving any time. You keep stopping saying, keep going. But you could just pick dude up and then run him up the stairs.
Yeah. But though I guess what they needed to do was have him make it up there in time to stop all the block from dropping or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then Cyborg shoot the last one.
Yeah.
So if he pulled them all up there, he'd be up there waiting for Cyborg for however long.
Yeah.
Right? But in the context of a movie, you can just you could just be there. It doesn't.
Yeah, you just edit it out, isn't it? Really.
No, not necessarily edit out.
I mean, but like you
can
show one scene, then go back to that scene where they're up there, and it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Cyborg's there. You know, just happen. Yeah, it doesn't. It's like okay, at least that makes kind of more sense. But
and then the crawler bit is it's the same scene. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But what it does is like when you say it's the same scene, at least it makes sense where Wonder Woman doesn't have to fight all the parademons and Steppenwolf at the same time. It's like Steppenwolf, I'll take her, and Wonder Woman's like The Rock, just bring it.
Yeah, and then this is when Steppenwolf gets in the head like, and
then we see we see how Batman's gauntlets are being useful.
Yeah.
And what's weird is like in Batman vs Superman when he's doing a warehouse fight scene.
Yeah.
It's an excellent fight scene.
Yeah.
Here he's kind of moving a bit sluggish and slower.
Yeah, I noticed that. But
I'm not sure why.
I sort of chalked that up to he's fighting demons that are faster than him, rather than him fighting humans that he's obviously stronger than. But yeah, it's
just like even his thrust kick and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a lot slower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's aged like 2 years.
To be fair as well, they were throwing him about, which makes sense. I mean, because they're vastly more powerful. We don't know the strength of a parademon, but it makes sense for them to manhandle a human.
Yeah.
I see he was handling normal humans. And that's why he'd have to have his gimmicks to help him in the fight. Yeah. And then he realizes, you know what, later on in the fight about it, I'm going to have to upgrade myself a bit more. So, yeah.
I'm going to have to wear my my Arkham Knight suit from the game. Yeah. And the fight between Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf, that was really good. They changed the slight bit how Aquaman comes and saves them.
Yeah.
That's slightly filmed a bit different.
Yeah.
So they do Cyborg flies off to go and get the mother box. And then Steppenwolf goes back to. This is a new scene as well, where Steppenwolf goes back to his Chernobyl base and speaks to the special melty tablet thing and tells them that something's on Earth, which you find out later is, the anti-life equation.
Yeah.
So Vic comes back with the mother box, and it makes sense now that why he flew off and came back with the mother box, unlike in the original where he's like, oh, you have a mother box. Why?
Yeah.
Then this is where you see Darkseid again, and he's like, oh, the anti-life equation. That's tickled me. And he talks about, I want to come to Earth and get my anti-life equation. And this one I was like, Darkseid's the best because I love Darkseid. He's my favorite villain of all time in any sort of thing. Then we get the backstory about the Nazis getting the mother box and how it got back to America.
Yeah.
Then this is when the scene that threw me off because of what happened at the end is when basically it's a new scene. I think it's a new scene. Was it in the original? Martha and Lois are talking, and
the bit where she turns into Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It was not in the.
No, I mean, like the bit before that when they meet up.
Yeah. It wasn't in the original.
Wasn't it? I thought so. Yeah. When she's basically like, Lois, you need a life.
Yeah. Now here's the thing as well. I mean, it just brings up a minor issue, but so when Lois at some point speak to Martha and say, "Oh, you remember when you saw me in the flat?"
Yeah.
And Martha's like, "No," and Lois would be like, "Wait a minute, who was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but it never pops up, and for the sake of the movie, you kind of just skim. When Martha and Lois actually meet later on, they just kind of there's no discussion about that. Then it's just like, okay,
which is weird. A bit weird, but
I'm not surprised that they cut this out because you would think that maybe they're referencing later on.
Yeah,
but they show the general as Martian Manhunter, which kind of like it's relevant but not really relevant.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't need to be there.
No,
Martian Manhunter didn't need to be in this at all until the very end.
Yeah,
if anything, but I'm skipping to the end here.
Yeah,
even though he was like to Bruce, I realize it's my world too, and I should also help.
Yeah,
it could have just been the thing where they said, Bruce said to him, "Oh, actually, I realized that none of the parademons ever got out of the vicinity. Was that you?" And he's like, and then Martian would be like, "Yep, I made sure as though he was outside helping them, making sure, no parademons escape." You could have pretended, like in dialogue, that actually happened.
I don't know, because then they're like, I don't know. That seems a bit weird to have.
No, but then
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it explains why he's there. And why he didn't assist them inside because he was outside securing the area. I'm just like, not that you had to have it. I'm just saying, at least would have given him a reason to be there.
I don't know. That just then that kind of like raises more questions. Like, why don't you just come and help them then, rather than
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then why did he come and help them in this movie in the first as well? So
because it's just a bit weird. It's weird.
I'm just trying to cover like a paper over the crack here that we're raising a question for. At least, even if they drop the dialogue, at least there's a reason he wasn't actually with them fighting. He was outside.
Yeah. But like I say, his reason for the fight was like, I'll see how this plays out, and I'll see what side I choose.
Yeah, if the world ends, then the world ends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that just opens up even more plot, like not plots, but it's just like your character. Why? I mean, realistically, he could have just saved them for the next movie. He didn't need to be.
Yeah, he didn't need to be there at all.
Because he was just there to be there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah. That's not much. That's about it. That just threw me off that bit. But I thought it was cool. It seems like, oh, that's cool. Because at first, I don't know why I thought this. I was like, because me see Martha's eyes light up red. I was like, did Superman come back and has powers to change? But like, that makes no sense. Yeah, then when he formed into a Martian Manhunter, I was like, oh, okay.
It doesn't, and it was a cool character that he was there all along as Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
But was it necessary for this movie? Probably not.
Probably not.
Especially since, he does nothing.
Yeah.
With all the abilities that he has.
He does.
It's just like, I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and then there's another scene where they basically like, why didn't Steppenwolf ever come and attack before? And then that's when they realise, oh, he never attacked because Superman was alive and they were scared of Superman. I was like, okay, makes sense. Yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And then part 5, All the King's Horses. I think that's like a nursery rhyme reference. Not too sure.
Yeah, All the King's Men.
Yeah, never couldn't put up the Dumpty back together again.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, so this title makes sense in the context. Yeah.
Oh, now, it does. Yeah.
Now, So they go and resurrect Superman, right?
Yep.
And they do show a little bit of Flash's ability to turn back time here, because they reverse. Yeah. So as he's running, like he's got to touch Cyborg at a specific time.
I thought you were talking about when they're digging, because I thought you were talking about when they're digging up Superman's grave, because that scene's different. But
sorry, yeah, no, I might have skipped ahead from where you were.
Yeah, no, I was to say that they changed that scene in this film.
Yeah,
because in the original it was just Cyborg and Flash, but this time Diana and Arthur come with him.
Yeah, and what they did cut here that I thought, if you're going to tag on the end, like the fist bump thing, they should have left that in, because at the end they fist bump, the joke has made it together, Otherwise, like an awful punchline or they're just doing it to at the end because we're celebrating, but it's just like the setup before would have been a neat payoff at the end.
Yeah. But this scene is pretty good, but I felt kind of bad because it's like, all right, we're the older ones, like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, we're the older ones. We're the younger ones go and dig up the grave, we'll stand here and just talk about how our races hate each other. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Then you get more of a little insight to Barry Allen. He's like, Superman was my hero. You're like, oh, bless.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then they slightly change. They add through how the bit where they get to Zod's ship.
Yeah.
With.
Like they set off a false alarm to clear all the Star-Lads out of there.
Yeah.
And then Cyborg's dad says, no, hon, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem right. And then later on, once he sees the Justice League, is like, he's got the radio and says, actually, it's my fault. I misread the signal. There is, clear everyone out there. There is an actual emergency. Like, you could have just slashed a lot of things here.
Yeah.
For the sake of time.
Yeah.
Because him saying it and then changing his mind and then changing it back, and then it's like, he could have just had him say something like, oh no, the alarm's different. Then we have to check the systems while everyone's clearing out, and then you have the Justice League appear there, and then come in there, and then he realizes what's going on, and he's like, okay, fine. You could have just saved yourself a good couple of minutes.
Exactly.
Though I think that was meant to ensure that, you realize Victor and his dad are kind of getting...
Yeah, he's kind of come around to the whole situation. Yeah.
But you could have done it much, much
easier and
slimmed
smoother.
down version.
Yeah. And then they show a very interesting part where Lois is finally like, you know what? I need to get my life together. And she goes for a drawer and she gets out her... She see her looking at her Daily Planet ID badge. And you see in the corner, a pregnancy test. Ooh, could she be pregnant?
Yeah. Ooh.
And then she goes to the toilet, but you don't see if she picks up the pregnancy test. But obviously, she must have, right?
Yeah, she must have at some point.
Yeah. And then more explanation to the Flash's powers in this, which I can see why they cut it out, because they didn't use this power later on in the film in the original to fix the problem.
Yeah.
So I get why they cut it out. But it was good to see that they explain his powers a bit more, and then rather than I can run fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay. Yeah, if you cut this bit out, you kind of have to cut the bit out at the end as well.
Yeah. So I see why they got rid of it.
Yeah. So, but I like that they have it here, and it as a little teaser of what the ability is.
Yeah.
So then when you use it later on, you're like, oh, he's full on using it.
Yeah.
Because he has to. Yeah. But as we're talking about, what it means is, like I was referencing before, he basically runs from one end of the ship to the other to get the electrical charge.
Yeah.
But he's running so fast, because he's mistimed it. Most of mistimed his run because the box is meant to the fluid.
Yeah.
And so he's running so fast, he kind of is touched the fluid before he touches Victor. So he kind of slowly reverses the time a little bit.
Yeah. He does it here because you see it, the box sort of hit the wall, and then he reverses, then he hits the box, and then...
Yeah, exactly.
Fireworks
go
off.
Yeah. I say touch Victor, I meant touch the box, right?
Yeah. Because I know what you meant, but then what you said makes sense because that happens later on. But yeah, it just got a bit confused. Yeah, and then this also made more sense because, like, Lois was already there.
Yeah.
Rather than the weird clunky way in the other one where Bruce gets Alfred to go get Lois to bring her there.
Yeah. Though this is the same problem I had before, as I say now. He makes a mockery of the entire Justice League. I thought they might fare a bit better here.
Nah.
But when Diana can move fast enough to block bullets from a machine gun, and then she can't, Superman moves even faster than that.
Yeah. Because he's OP Superman at the moment because he just comes back from
at this point it's just crazy. They should just say, they should have said they was overcharge him and then overpower him, whatever. And then they accept that he can take down the entire Justice League.
They should have gave it more of a throwaway line, like, but then Aquaman sort of does later on when he goes like he was acting on instinct and like obviously fight or flight sort of mentality comes in.
Yeah, but then if he's acting on instinct, the logic here is, by the way, if he can move at super speed and he's acting on instinct, he just wiped them all out.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But you have this problem with all these like sort of films, don't you?
Yeah.
Even Marvel have them. Same fight, pretty dope.
Yeah. Reload. A little bit more though of the same fight, but yeah.
Oh, like and when then... the Flash gives Aquaman the Speed Force spear because he's going.
Yeah, it's great. Now, what's kind of funny is Flash is running at him.
Yeah.
And he just basically does the thing where he just the pro wrestling bypass.
Yeah.
Flash running, just taps Flash at the back of the head, and Flash just runs into Aquaman. Even though for some reason you're telling me from the distance I need to go past Superman to Aquaman, he can't stop.
No.
And like I said, Superman tapped in the back of the head, so it might have just been the amount of
force.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He hit him with so much Superman strength that it just propelled the guy, and he couldn't stop his gravity, not gravity, his momentum, which is fair.
Which is fair, and obviously,
though like we were saying, if he acted on instinct and he tapped Flash in the back of the head, it would have just beheaded him. So
yeah, and obviously as well, like,
but it gives him a reason to be out of the equation. That's what we're looking for, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and Flash is a novice at this point, so he doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, then again, like we said, they show how important Batman's gauntlets are because he's about to get like heat beamed to death, and he uses his gauntlet. You're like, oh, cool. Because I actually did think at a point, they might kill him.
Yeah. What's good is basically that one gauntlet they used to block it.
Yeah.
Was then completely useless, so then had to block it with the other one. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Though, how can he move faster than heat vision? You know what I mean?
Because he's Batman.
No, but he'd have to move, like, for however speed that heat vision's going towards him at, he's got to move his limb that
fast,
and block it in a very precise area. But, we're gonna kind of allow that.
Yeah, we just, like I said, comic books. And then Lois comes, and she's like, hey, Clark.
Lois Clark comes, shouts his name to everyone in the vicinity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, Zack Snyder, I don't mind if you don't care that Superman and Clark Kent are meant to be two different people.
Yeah.
But just don't have him. If you're going to have him be Superman, the Kal-El the alien as Superman, just let it be and don't show me anything to do with the Daily Planet or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that just makes this
Clark
Kent guys non-valid.
Because
she done it twice as well. She did it in Man of Steel as well.
Yeah. Like how I saw it though, as like, this is me being that guy. Okay, all this habit's going on. No one outside them is paying attention, so they might not hear it.
Yeah.
But still, like you're saying, why?
No, but the policemen were right behind her.
Yes, I'm saying, that's
and Batman was also doing it.
Yeah.
Clark.
Yeah.
So look, at the end of the day, I don't mind it if Zack Snyder was like, okay, I'm going to bypass the entire clunky, clumsy Clark Kent persona.
Yeah.
But just don't You know,
yeah, it's
don't pretend that the guise is there other than to be a guise if you're not going to use it.
Yeah,
And you're just going to have this. There's no point in pretending that he does have one.
Yeah,
if you're not going to protect it.
That's like the whole problem with like these comic book things in general. Like when they, especially in the films, when they shout out the other person's like civilian name.
Yeah.
Not just like in this film, like it's happened in the Marvel films. It's happened.
Oh, I get it. If it's to break them, like from their mindset or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, if it was Captain America, Captain, and then you're like, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, there's a point to it, but it's just like, I get what they're trying to go for here.
Yeah.
But it just seemed a bit like
clunky.
Yeah, well, we don't care about filmmaker-wise. We don't care about secret identity.
Yeah,
we don't care that the characters know, and some other random people might know because of this. We just want this. Here's the point we were trying to make.
Yeah. It's a bit.
Even though these characters should know better.
Yeah. As I said, it's just a big problem in general.
Yeah.
And then he flies off with Lois.
Yeah.
But while this is all going on, the mother box is being found by Silas, and he takes it back to the ship. And then Steppenwolf comes down and is like, "Yo, dog, where's the mother box at?" So then...
By the way, I like how you streetwise Steppenwolf.
I have to, because he's just too, like, posh and name. Yeah, no, I got to streetwise him up. So then he goes into the crash site, and he's all like, "Yo, where's Silas at?" So he's wrecking up the place.
Where's Silas at, boy?
He's like, "Where's that fool?" So he goes looking for him. And this is when you go back to the Super Friends, so not the Justice League yet. And then I think it's one of them goes to Cyborg. "Oh, so where's the mother box?" He's like, "Oh, my bad." So then they kind of clock it's in the building. Yeah. But, Steppenwolf's tearing the whole place down, going rowdy. Yeah. And then Silas tries to destroy the mother... Well, you think he's trying to destroy the mother box.
Yeah.
And he Dr. Manhattan himself, basically.
Yeah. Atomizes himself.
Yeah. And Cyborg, they all see it and they're like, "Oh no, Daddy dead." Yeah. But then you find out that he's actually heated up the mother box so that they can track it through one of Bruce Wayne's 6 satellites because he's super rich.
Yes, that he somehow does not know. Well, I'm going to assume, even though he doesn't know that Bruce Wayne's Batman, that he would assume that Cyborg had the ability to do it anyways. Yeah. Logically speaking.
Yeah, logically, yeah. Just lucky that Batman has satellites. So
yeah, it made the job easier.
Yeah. And then we get a bit where, this is when they have the weird nightmare sequence, don't they?
Yeah.
Where you see Wonder Woman. No, sorry. To get to that point, Steppenwolf. I think this is when he combines the Unity, the 3 mother boxes.
No, by the way, let's just point out the bit with Silas. He's overheating the mother box.
Yeah.
As logical as it was, I mean, you could slice it for time if you needed to. You just had to find a slightly different. You could have just said they use Victor touched the box and they can track it now.
Yeah.
Through Batman satellite. You could just save yourself a bit more time if you needed to.
Yeah. But I still think killing Silas was good. Sorry, I feel.
Oh no, it's a bit more dramatic. Yeah, it adds a bit more to.
But I mean,
why the the recording and the relationship of Cyborg and Silas. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, you could cut it easily.
Yeah, you could tighten it a bit more.
Yeah. So we have the nightmare sequence where Wonder Woman's being burnt because she's dead. She's having like a good old fashioned, which I'm guessing is a Amazonian burial. I don't know.
Yes. A Jedi burial. Yeah. A Jedi death, right? Yeah. Even though the Jedi's going from Malfoy. But yeah. That burning. I was saying the burning at the stake like she's a witch. That's not what I meant.
No, but
a Viking funeral.
Yeah, without the boat in the sea and that stuff. Yeah. And then you see Darkseid killing Aquaman under sea. Like, ooh, where's this all going? Yeah. And you already pointed out this bit already. You see Superman holding a burning body, which we're assuming is Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And a dead killer of the Green Lantern. And Superman holding up Batman's cowl. Obviously, Batman's not dead, but he's got the cowl.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, is this the darkest timeline? Who knows?
I mean, you could have slashed this entire lot for the sake of the movie if you needed to squash it. I mean, it leads to a sequel that's whether it's going to happen or not is another question, but it's all kind of building for the next story that you don't need to have it within this story.
There was also a bit I missed. I just realised that now, looking at my notes. When they're trying to power the mother box to bring back Superman alive, Cyborg gets this message saying, don't do it, because obviously Steppenwolf's going to find out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then it says the future has now be rooted in the present. I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. The mother box can see the future, I'm guessing. Who knows?
Well, okay, here's the thing with the time travel storylines. Are we saying, like, in the CW verse, like, Look, there's whole, like, the Avengers will point out in the Endgame.
Yeah.
Either your timeline is one flowing timeline that you can change.
Yeah.
Or your timeline is splinters off to the different time. Your present splinters off, and the future that was your future is still an alternate future.
Yeah.
It depends on how they're gonna.
Yeah, how they.
But how people are logically looking at this is like there are remnants of the previous future that are still kind of like rippling through time.
Yeah.
That's why Batman's getting these flash forwards, and the Flash can do other stuff. You know, that sort of thing. It hasn't set yet. It's been altered, but kind of.
Yeah, it's not set in stone.
Left traces, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like you said, there's little splinters, or was it revenants about of what could happen.
I mean, I'm sure DC, because they've got a legion of superheroes and all those time traveling superheroes, they could come out with something. Yeah. Wave Rider or whoever, they could snip whatever they need for those sort of things.
Yeah.
To work into this to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Without, I mean, if you want to introduce Rip Hunter, Wave Rider, all those extant, even the Paradox, Hal Jordan, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't need to introduce, or Hyper Time even. Don't need to introduce those characters because you're going to just overstuff your movie.
Yeah.
Just like the concepts of whatever it is, and
we sort of laid the groundwork for it, so if we want to bring him in, we could. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just saying the idea for the alternate timeline, sort of, and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So then that ends, obviously. Then it's part 6, Something Darker.
Yeah.
This whole like sort of part is like overly to say about it is like Superman and Lois sort of on the farm, and Superman sort of getting his memories back of like who he was. And
the rest of Justice League preparing to have the showdown with the quote unquote Chernobyl area.
Yeah.
With Steppenwolf. Without Superman's help, because
they don't know if they can.
They don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they could probably deduce where he is, it's like, well, he's not in the state to come with us anyways.
Yeah. So we've got to do what we can.
Yeah. Which up the stakes a bit more. It's just like, look, it's a team that kind of not got defeated beforehand.
Yeah.
But now Cyborg and Flash are a bit more used to their powers.
Yeah.
Aquaman is with us. And we know who we're facing, and Batman's all armored up. Let's give it a go. Our chances are better now than previous.
I like when Batman brings them to the Batcave.
Yeah.
And just their interactions with Alfred was quite funny.
Yeah.
Aquaman, he's still a delight in this film. Yeah. But there's something really weird that Bruce says. He goes, "This is Alfred, and I work for him." I'm like, wait, what?
No, I think that was a joke.
Yeah,
and I took it as a joke that, like, of it, like, slapping Alfred's back, going, yeah, he's my boss, even though I'm his boss.
Yeah, like, witty banter. Yeah. So they go back and they try to use the satellite to find Steppenwolf. So most of this part is like new scenes, if I'm correct.
I want to say similar, but like with a different message. Different execution is what.
Yeah. So and this is where Cyborg's like, we need to find the boxes so I can fuse with them and we can stop the boxes from being together.
Yeah.
Unlike in the original version where it's just like, we can't let the boxes touch because. Yeah.
Yeah,
just because. And they're all like, kind of like, oh, I don't know if we can do this. We're only just men. And Batman's like, nah. I don't care how many planets Steppenwolf and Darkseid have destroyed. United, we're unstoppable. I was like, that's quite a good subtle rally cry rather than some big elaborate like speech.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it is very conflicting because like you're talking about a guy who was like, all you aliens, like in the previous, all of you aliens that destroyed my planet, blah blah blah. I hate you all or whatever. And it's like now I'm united with an Atlantean, an Amazon, a human lightning bolt, a machine,
and maybe an alien.
Yeah, and now I have zero xenophobia or speechophobia or whatever you want to call it.
I'm not a racist no more.
Yeah, exactly.
I have friends from different races, so I'm not racist no more.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Some of my friends are from different races.
I know an Atlantean. He came to my house once,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Bruce. And then they got rid of.
This is where, by the way, and it's a good rally cry, like you're saying, but it just shows you how different the direction was in the previous movie. Just really,
Yeah, it's obvious here. And then they have a nice little scene where they soften up Aquaman a bit. Where he's like, "Have you spoken to Flash? Like, oh, have you spoken to Victor?" It's like, "No, he wants to be alone." He's like, "You sure we can? You sure he's gonna be okay? Because his father's died, and he's just a kid. We asked him to do all this." You're like, Aquaman ain't that much of a dick as he was before.
I want to say no, I don't think it was
not a dick, but like he was that guy like I don't really care, but
no, but here it's more gruff but less standoffish.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's great. And then this is another bit which was quite useful when Bruce brings up, I was sitting here and I had a dream that Barry came from the future and told me that Lois the key.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I was like, oh, so they're finally addressing this.
Yeah.
As it was super random in Batman vs Superman and never explained.
And for the sake of this movie, you probably could have sliced that, but as you had in the previous movie, you kind of have to wrap that up. And even though they didn't in 2017 version, it kind of just left it hanging, and it was a massive like question mark.
Yeah. Because especially like in Batman vs Superman, they sort of like hyped it to be like a big thing, and then in Justice League OG, not mentioned.
Yeah, no, Lois was the key. That's why Alfred got her. That's our solution for this answering this question. Yeah. That's it. No more questions.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, direct out my lawyer.
Yeah. And it also explained how Batman's Super Jet works because Cyborg was like, yeah, I fixed it,
She was no.
She wanted to work, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can speak to it. She wanted to fly. She knows what I fixed her.
Yeah.
All right. I buy it as an explanation because it kind of makes sense. But it's just one of those. We'll just sweep it under the carpet explanations.
Yeah.
Machine to machine. It was a machine to machine fist bump.
Yeah. It's like...
And then the machine. Then the other machine was like. The machine without sentence decided, okay, for you, I'll.
Yeah, because you asked so nicely,
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes more sense because, like, in the original, Batman just fixes it.
Yeah.
It kind of, again, adds to, like, Batman can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gets annoying. And then also, they're like, we got to do this. Superman's not going to help us. And then this is where, woke Bruce Wayne's like, no, I truly believe that Clark's going to come and help us,
Yeah, have faith, Alfred.
Have faith.
Dude, like you said in the previous movie, you were like, if there's 1% chance of this guy being evil, we're going to take it as 100. We're going to take it as an absolute certainty.
Yeah.
So, come on.
But now, I've changed my mind. They're all good,
Yeah.
Kryptonians.
After I murdered him, accidentally got him killed. I mean.
Yeah.
I beat him up, accidentally got him killed, and now I decided that this guy is actually a good guy.
He's a good guy,
Yeah. Oh, we have the same mother's name. Come on.
Yeah, anyone with the same mother's name's got to be good, right? Science.
Psychology.
And this is where also they show Steppenwolf actually could unite the mother boxes and it could be felt around the world, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, in the other one, they didn't do none of that. It's just the mother boxes are there. No one else knows.
I think it's more time constraints. I mean, I suppose you could cut it, but it just they even though I keep on interrupting, I was saying about time constraints, I'm just saying 2 hours is just not enough to put all this movie in. They had to cut things quite a lot. And just started. The more extravagant things that explain stuff, or that show repercussions, they just had to throw out the window.
Yeah, and I get that. I can get why they did this. Like, it's cool because you got the time to put this scene in. But I can see in a theatre version, or throw this out. We don't need this. Then this is where they come up. This also the cool bit where the Flash explains the Speed Force, sort of, and saying that he could build up enough energy to help Victor merge with the mother boxes. So again, giving Flash a reason to be here. Unlike the other one where he did nothing really.
And also gives Batman a reason to be. No, I've got ahead of myself there. But I'm just saying when he's shooting he's taking down parademons. It gives a reason for him to be not in the main fight against Steppenwolf, because they're not going to be that helpful anyways. But he's taking down parademons to keep the Flash clear so he can run.
So
another win for them in this.
And then how they've added to this one. In the other one, they just go to Chernobyl. And Batman's meant to be a distraction or something. But in this one, he's actually got to open up the dome that's around them so they can... Around the Steppenwolf and his people, so they can actually get in there and, do their thing. Which made more sense.
It's like in the previous version, he kind of had the death wish. Well, we could argue for the sake of his survivor's guilt because he managed to get Superman killed or whatever. At least here it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to go sacrifice myself for some reason. I am actually going to try and sacrifice my equipment to get myself in there to then get everyone else in there.
And he does it, and there's which I took as a random White Family reference. Like, when he's crashed the plane and he goes, you guys go in, I'll hold him off as much as I can. And he goes, there. And he turns off the light. I was like, it's like the Wyatts when they used to come in and even had the voice. He was like, there.
Okay, can I just explain? First of all, before you started explaining that, when you said to me, there was a random reference, right? You said a random Wyatt family reference. I was like, I thought you said white family. So
no.
I'm waiting here on my end thinking, White is so white about what Batman's going to say.
And I didn't,
And then you hit me with the white family. That made me laugh. I was expecting something else completely. That's all.
Like, and it was drinking.
But it is actually quite funny. You're like,
something proper weird like that.
You're expecting the Bray Wyatt theme song. Catch the flies.
So it's just, it threw me off. I laughed. I was like, that's great. No one
Even though that's not what the moment, like, me and you will get this, but how many other people will? But
no, and then they literally have the same chase scene. But it's
just different colours, right?
Different colour. And then, to me, this version, the colour made it look better.
No, I could see the previous version went red because the red skies crossover from the Infinite, from Crisis on Infinite Earths and stuff like that. So just I think, or Jeff Johns, whoever wrote that scene, or whoever had a hand in that scene, were trying to make it more DC comic universe accurate. Zack Snyder does whatever he wants to do though, because he's got free reign on his own movie. And he loves his blue filters anyways. So kind of
it just, and it was a bit more. It was a bit longer, obviously, as well. But I preferred this one. I was like, oh, cool. It gives more, like, the colour to it gave it more, like,
I
sense
think
of
also,
urgency.
by this point as well, they built enough of the characters to where like, you finally see them in that slow-mo scene.
Yeah.
Where they all doing their
their pose, their Avenger pose from Age of Ultron.
It's like, okay, you boys are finally got together. You got your stuff working.
Yeah.
And you're being a team as much as you can as a group. So it's like, okay, boys, let's get it done.
Yeah. Actually, like, not chuckle. I like.
You all know your roles from this point.
Yeah.
But we're unified.
Yeah. We are now we're not the Super Friends anymore. We are nearly Justice League.
Yeah. So our boy, we're waiting for our boy Superman to come.
Who turns up at Wayne Manor, which is they had this in the original trailer for the original one.
Oh wait, no! You skipped something there.
Oh,
it starts in Smallville.
Yeah.
Makes its way to the fortress.
Yeah.
Then to put on the black suit and start flying. Which this, by the way, where they have Jonathan Kent and Jor-El's words overlaid with Superman flying again.
Yeah.
And I like that moment actually.
Yeah, same.
Because as much as I didn't like how they portrayed Jonathan Kent or portrayed Jor-El as a bit too much of a godly force.
Yeah.
The moment worked. I think because it's just like remember everything that has got you to this point.
Yeah.
And then he flies from there to Wayne Manor. To I guess
say hi.
No, logically speaking, by the way, everyone's in that. All the rest of the league are fighting, right?
Yeah.
And so somehow Superman's got from Smallville to Antarctica, wherever he is.
Yeah.
To come back to Wayne Manor, then to fly to Chernobyl, right?
Yeah.
But he's Superman; he can't fly at those speeds. So I guess the massive jumps in between all of that, while the Justice League are still in that area fighting in whatever real time you'd say, however long it's taken. It's kind of okay. He super speeded it. We're going to allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you could say he could have got to the location without having to visit Alfred, but logically, no, Alfred would probably have to give him the location. Say this is where people are. But then how do you know to go to Alfred?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the bit about that scene. I reckon it could have, like, the whole Superman getting a suit and all that. They could have cut out the Alfred bit because, like saying, it kind of makes no sense.
I mean, logic. The if you're speaking of doing this efficiently, he could have just appeared when he appeared.
Yeah.
Because kind of, there's a battle going on.
Yeah.
Work out. No, not work out. You didn't even say he worked out or whatever. But you could just say, okay, that's where the battle is. I'm just going to head over there.
Or if they put this whole sequence a bit earlier, before they went off the fight, like when they're on their way to Chernobyl, whatever. If they put all this Superman scene then, it would have made more sense.
Yeah. Or the other thing is, when you see a big energy bubble in a certain area, or with like lightning storm, or whatever, it's something that's like, okay, well, that's probably the location they're at. I better head over there
because he does have like super hearing, so
Yeah. No, but they're fighting in at least in the 2017 version.
Yeah.
There was some big energy bubble, some surely. And Batman had to break through that energy bubble, so you could just say, okay, in this version as well. So Superman could probably just work out the location from there. If you need to just slice time for the effort thing,
he could have just done like a Superman Returns. We flies up into like space, just stands there, hears, and then flies down.
Or sees, some sort of explosion. Okay, better head over there.
Yeah, because he just cut that whole him meeting Alfred bit. Could have cut it in both. It makes sense. Then we had an awesome fight, the 3-on-1 handicap match between Steppenwolf, Aquaman, and Cyborg.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
Yeah,
and he's handling them.
Yeah, and he's trash talking Diana, saying, "You're a traitor. You left your Amazon for men. What's wrong with you? You're a fool."
Now, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is my issue with the previous one as well. It's just like, with the Diana herself, fair enough, if you're going to say she couldn't handle Steppenwolf in the previous battle. But now you got Aquaman, who's probably, his power level, I don't want to say how relative it is, but, you got another guy. He took a Superman punch.
Yeah.
So, between the two of them, I would have liked them to handle Steppenwolf a bit more without looking like they were in too much trouble, because when Superman comes in there and just be like, bitch, it's Steppenwolf.
But to be fair, I don't know, I could be just like, after he combined the mother boxes, he had like this glow in his eye, so unless he got powered up a bit, so
I do like it though. I did like it where, like we're saying, basically Superman's entrance is Victor's about to get slashed by the axe, right? And conveniently, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are buried under rubble. But if you could take a Superman punch, both of you could take a Superman headbutt a couple of times. What's a couple of rocks going to do to you? But whatever. He zips over there, tanks the axe, just completely no-sells it. And I was
literally.
Like, this is a Superman moment, but you just made everyone else look like they're powered.
No, but also you got to remember, I'm pretty sure just before this, I don't know if I made this bit up, he did go up into space to get more sun energy.
Right. And that's when, by the way, you could have saw Chernobyl, whatever it is. You could have slot that there. But even though, if we're going to say he got superpowered like that, and just looks at Axe and goes, please. That was a cool thing where he just used his ice breath to shatter the axe, and then he basically flew up and Sparta kicked Steppenwolf. And then he just went, beat him like he owed him money.
Yeah, literally.
I'm like, oh, come on, man. Now my boy Aquaman and my lady Wonder Woman just kind of like looking a bit rough there.
They're alright, because his name's Superman, and Superman.
I mean, people generally accept it because he's Superman. He can do that stuff, but it just makes him look overpowered towards everyone else, and it does a Vin Diesel effect, is what I'm going to call it. Like, what's the point of everyone else?
Because Superman has always, even in the comics, that he's that, so it's sort of his territory. So.
Oh but when they do in the comics, Wonder Woman is kind of like not his equal, right? But not so many levels below, because she's got fighting experience that could kind of keep up with him. To a certain degree. And Aquaman, we don't know how well his power levels are. Because they adjust it up and down. But if combined Wonder Woman and Aquaman versus Steppenwolf, I think they should have done a better showing. But that's neither here nor there at the moment.
You remember Steppenwolf is technically a god, but
and Superman is an alien entity, but somehow more powerful than the new gods. But because he just got I have to say, when he's blasting with heat vision and stuff like that, cool. And the theme song for this, the Superman Hans Zimmer theme song, perfectly suited this moment. But when he just started heat visioning Steppenwolf's horn off, I was like, "Oh, that's just a bit of cruelty for the sake of it." I mean, did you need to?
Yeah, he did. Steppenwolf's a dick, so
No, I
but I know you mean it was a bit OTT.
Yeah, I understand if Wonder Woman chopped off his horn or something like that, right? Because I would have mean, like, they've had 2 battles already, Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf, and he destroyed the Amazons. So then between her and Arthur, because if Steppenwolf's having a rock with all the Atlanteans as well, those 2 I can get. If they want to do major damage to him. Superman just did it I don't want to say for the fun of it, but just because he could.
Yeah, that's true power right there.
Yeah, exactly. Just because, like, I'm going to establish my will on you because I can.
Yeah. And while all this is going on, Batman's outside doing epic things, which is pretty cool.
Helping Flash sustain the run. And then Flash gets shot somehow.
The Parademon Clocks is like, instead of shooting at him, I'm going to shoot where he goes.
But even though he's running at such a speed that you don't know where he's going. Whatever. I mean, like, how can you calculate the shot, but we're just going to allow it for the sake of
it works.
The coolness that's going to happen next.
This part, So
he can't sustain the run. He gets injured. And Victor needed to be touched by the Flash with the power of the...
before the mother boxes take over him.
And then it was too late. And then...
a boom tube opens. And you see my boy, my Lord and Savior, Darkseid.
Destroys everyone in the vicinity as well.
Him, Granny Goodness, and the sword.
And then Flash is like the ripple of the time stream past him, and he kind of like is like, something's got to be done here. And then he's like hyping himself up. Barry, you got to do this. Which completes his arc, by the way, of being a random guy who just got the power. And now he's fully realized, you know what, I've got to step up. So when he runs back through the time stream as it's rebuilding backwards behind him.
Yeah. That's dope, that bit was.
Yeah. All the special effects they put in there and stuff like that. And then he touches Victor, gives him the power.
Yeah.
And then Superman and Victor reverse. Oh, separate the mother boxes.
Yeah.
Aquaman shanks Steppenwolf with his
pipe. He's quite.
Yeah, and then because they can, as he throws him through the boom tube, Wonder Woman chops off Steppenwolf's head. And I'm like, only for it to roll into the dark side, who crushes it. And like, if you're gonna do that anyways, you could have just had Wonder Woman chop his torn or whatever, right? Aquaman did a trident, and then they throw the body in through the portal, and Darkseid kill him anyway. I mean, Wonder Woman didn't need to chop off his head at that point.
She did because.
Oh, it was like an exclamation point.
Because she has reason to do it, because he killed her sister. He killed her Amazonian sister. So.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it logically. Okay, so you killed Darkseid's minion, right? And in front of his face. What makes you think he's not going to come back?
Exactly. You're going to piss him off a lot more.
Whereas if you do it the other way, where Darkseid kills Steppenwolf himself, it's like he crushes Steppenwolf for his failure, and he's like, I'm going to do the job myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it makes more sense, but just all right, well, you could have done it that way, and you didn't need to chop his head.
I think if they did it your way, it's kind of too similar to Thanos' first appearance in...
It's true.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't deliberately need to avoid comparisons if you didn't. I mean, if that was going to be your story anyway, so you don't need to worry about comparing it to others. You shouldn't.
But they don't need to worry, but the general public will be like, that's just a copy of...
No, yeah, it's fair enough. And at least it wasn't, I would want to say it was tastefully shot, right? It was kind of like out of screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There wasn't blood splurting everyone, and it wasn't overly gratuitous, cutting the head off. Kind of just happened.
Yeah.
But logically speaking, blood should be splurting out of his head.
Yeah, should be. But he's an alien, don't know how their blood works.
Oh, true. It's true. Because I was going to say his horn got blown off, but to be fair, that could have been bone.
Yeah.
Or whatever the bone equivalent is for this to the new gods, and cauterized as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I did prefer his death in this one than in the OG version because you don't know if he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit weird.
Yeah. Personally, I don't know if Wonder Woman needed to literally chop his head off, but he kind of had a better end here.
Yeah.
Because it was more definitive.
Yeah.
Either way, you could have just made them have a definitive. I mean, look, the Justice League wrapped up the threat here.
Yeah.
Darkseid, we're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for you,
brother.
Yeah. But I can see why they have Wonder Woman did do it because remember she is a warrior. If someone else killed him,
let's be fair.
Yeah.
And say, I said fair enough, right? I'll accept that if they established her warrior persona more here. They didn't say in this movie anything about her warrior background, though. Her behavior is consistent with a person who would atomize a normal man.
Yeah.
Why not just we'll kind of chop the head off of this guy? I don't see why though she couldn't have just done her bracelet thing and sent him through the portal because then at that point you could have done anything. I mean they had multiple ways to do certain things.
But Steppenwolf he did openly mock her saying that you're a warrior and you're doing all this. So
I suppose. So, but a bit more oomph. Would have given me a reason for her to chop his. It's not that she chopped his head off that I kind of disagree with. There's no lead up to it.
Yeah.
Enough for her to do that.
Yeah, I get you mean.
Like they did it just so he could have his head roll up to Darkseid's feet.
Yeah. It's like it makes you when you hear about the original version of Infinity War, Endgame, where there's meant to be a scene where Thanos cuts off Captain America's head.
Yep.
And then you kind of see why they did it now because it'd be like that's a bit OTT for no reason. And
it's also go on. No.
And in this film, it feels a bit OTT, but then it's sort of
Now, as you mentioned, Bolt, I thought you were going to mention in the game as well. It then comes to call out about alternate timelines and stuff like that. Because how can you have the old Captain America's head if this timeline has been altered and all that other stuff?
Yeah.
So that would open up a whole
can of worms that no one wants to get into.
Because they're inconsistent, by the way, with their time travel as well. So, so you're not more questions. You just want to be like, no questions today, no more questions.
Yeah, we're closed. Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
I also forgot to say when Cyborg did get into the mother box and it tried to trick him by saying, "Yeah, be with your family. We can make it back together." It was. I got what they were trying to do with it, but I don't know if they needed that bit.
Probably not. They could have just. Yeah. I mean, he completed his arc by the point that he helped. But by the time he helped separate the mother boxes, all he needed to do was play the recording from his dad.
Yeah.
And that completes the story arc. So
yeah.
Here he's just like, I've actually saved the world, and my dad. I'm still grieving over my dad, but let me see his final positive message.
Yeah.
That's the finish.
Yeah. Well,
didn't really need any more.
No, it didn't. So that's all happens, and then you see my boy Darkseid saying, "You know what? I knew this full Steppenwolf was gonna fail me. Yeah. Sarge, get the army ready. We're going to get the anti-life equation the old-fashioned way, yo." And obviously that's setting up for
So when you said, by the way, I said, Darkseid was going to do it myself, and you said it's too much like that. That's essentially what he did, anyways.
No, he sort of. But he said it like, he went, "We're going to do it the old-fashioned way," instead of like, "I'm going to do it myself."
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's coming for that anti-life equation. Yeah, and then it has the same bit where they climb out of the silo. Yeah. And they strike their pose and a fist bump, which is pointless because there's no build up to it.
Yeah. Other than at this point, it's just a fist bump of celebration rather than a joke, a tail end to a joke.
Yeah, and showed that we're friends now. Yeah, didn't have that. So yeah, then we get the epilogue, which is called "A Father Twice Over." Yeah, it's just 19 minutes of wrap up.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed most of this 19 minutes.
No, to be honest, they're straight up. Yeah. You probably, like, from the point where they strike the superhero pose. Yeah. There's 19 minutes of epilogue, so you probably could just wrap up certain things like Barry's getting his job at Central City.
Yeah.
Diana, Bruce Wayne, and Alfred in the Wayne Manor saying, "Oh, we'll set up a table here." Yeah. Cyborg listening to his father's message. You could have just all done that.
Yeah.
The next 5-10 minutes, and then tail end the epilogue as a mid-credit scene with Luthor.
Yeah.
You could have saved yourself a bit of
a bit of time because it did.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was dragged on.
Yeah. It was mainly, especially the bit with Luthor, is unnecessary for a sequel that may not happen.
Not a sequel, a film that would never happen.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't like, if you ain't gonna have it, if you know there's not gonna be a sequel to this particular movie, maybe you shouldn't have it. At the same time, if you're gonna take elements from this movie, you could probably have the Injustice gang, right? But the Nightmare timeline is probably throw that out the window.
Yeah, because I did like the new dialogue between Luthor and Slade.
And for a Batman movie, unfortunately, that will never happen.
Yeah, because I was getting a bit hyped, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening though, isn't it?
Yeah. If only it did, though. It seemed like it would have been really good.
Yeah. Because, I want to say it now, and I'm probably get flack for this.
Yeah.
Me, personally, at this moment, not including what's coming in the future with Robert Pattinson, because I don't know how it's going to be, I would say Affleck has been the best Batman.
Okay, now, I will say this, right?
Acting-wise, not story-wise, because...
Yeah. I've enjoyed that Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah.
Especially the action scenes, especially using gadgets as well, Arkham game style.
Yeah.
It's just that he wasn't particularly well written as a character, and from what he's had on screen so far, more concentrating on the Batman persona, and even when he's Bruce Wayne, he's basically Batman without the costume on. He's in casual clothing. I think there's only one scene where he's proper Bruce Wayne being in the city, and that was in Batman vs Superman, he liked the lady's shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
But he's I liked him for Batman. And if he got his own movie in the tone of this movie, he's really good, really good.
Yeah. So like I said, it kind of makes me like bummed that we're not going to get that film now.
Yeah. Especially if the fights.
Yeah.
Between him and Deathstroke would have been quite something.
Yeah, and then it would have been quite cool to, if we did ever get the Nightmare timeline, like we'll talk about in a minute when him and Slade meet, be like cool from the other point. One of the weird things in this epilogue thing, which I thought was kind of weird, when like the Barry one was nice, it was better than the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman made more sense for him to get to where he is for the Aquaman film.
Yeah.
Ryan Cho got his little nod, like, yeah, he's the new boss of whatever.
Star Labs, yeah.
Yeah. The Batman one was weird. Because you see the Batman signal, and then you see him standing on, like, some tank that's as big as a city, built like houses. I was like, I'm confused. Wait, what? Is this the Batman tank thing from Dark Knight Returns? What?
Yeah. Just look, unfortunately as well in this movie, as much better as this to the previous version, and in and of itself, there are scenes here that are just there to look cool. Like the dude eating his burger that was getting distracted, and that's why he crashed into Iris's car.
Yeah,
that slow-mo scene with the sesame seed bun is like, okay, what? Why? Other than we enjoy slow-mo.
Yeah. But yeah, that tank threw me off. Yeah, and then even the little random bit of Barry running, looking all happy, that was cool. Like you said, he knows that he's a hero now, rather than like at the start of the film where he's a jabroni, basically learning and going along. So that was cool. I didn't clock that Luthor was in Arkham Asylum or Arkham, whatever they called it, till this. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a callback, I guess.
Yeah.
And we already spoke about the extra new scene between Luthor and Deathstroke.
Yeah.
When he's like,
they're not gonna have an injustice gang.
No.
I'm just gonna give you information to destroy the life of Bruce Wayne because he put me into Arkham. How dare he?
I thought that was cool. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And Jesse Eisenberg came off as more of a, I don't want to say sinister Lex Luthor here, but more of a, you got the feeling that he's more of a some sort of threat.
Yeah.
To some degree, where he wasn't cartoonish.
Yeah, because they even mention that, don't they?
They tapered him down a little bit.
Yeah, they mentioned that. He goes, I thought he was a bit wacky. He goes, no, the fine people at Arkham made me realise that I need to do this rather than that. And I'm like, okay, cool. They sort of not retconned it, but they're course correcting that.
They acknowledge the issue there. Now, whether that's because of the Batman vs Superman and the reception to it, and they altered it there, or it was always there to begin with.
Yeah.
We'll never
know. At this point, we'll never know. And then this is where we get probably one of my favourite parts of this film. The weird nightmare future timeline.
Yeah, which kind of does and doesn't exist at the same time now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes no sense as it is. Like, seeing Batman with his band of merry men, Cyborg, Mirror, Deathstroke, and the Flash, and like, Mirror's like, I'm gonna kill that bastard for what he did to Arthur. But then, I don't know if she's referring to Superman or Darkseid, because in that previous Flash forward thing earlier, it's Darkseid that's killing Aquaman.
Yeah. I assumed at this point, it is. She's talking about Superman because he makes an appearance at the end of it.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah,
quite interesting.
I mean, look. To be fair, the different alternate, the nightmare timelines could be different alternating timelines.
Yeah,
because they've adjusted certain things. Like Barry ran back in time, so it's altered the timeline to here and there. So we don't know for certain how they would have pulled it off the entire thing.
Yeah. And then the bit that was awesome, which got a lot of flack before it actually came out, and I'm guessing people probably changed their opinion on it, was the Joker being there.
Was he necessary? Probably not.
Probably not, but it was awesome.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a good. This was more in line with how, not the gangster criminal Joker that was in
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, exactly. This was more of a bit of a crazier version. But then, how could this guy? What help would this guy be? I mean, in a world like this, he will thrive. But to help against find someone like Superman, he's useless.
He's useless, yeah. But
he's just a wild card that can't be predicted. And though he can get whatever you need, if you were going to have him as the courier or some sort of merchant or some, where you can get all this wacky, stuff.
Yeah.
You can see him being like, yeah, okay, and it'd work in this world. That sort of vibe.
But maybe the reason why Batman has him with him, because he's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
That sort of works with them against the anti-life equation and Darkseid.
Yeah. You'd have to we don't know what happened previous to this point, but you can kind of accept where he is in his role.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to directly engage anyone. That is beyond his abilities.
Yeah.
Not that he has much abilities, but no one he can play kind of mind games with,
Yeah.
Or he can just kind of outfox.
Yeah. And what he says to Batman is pretty messed up.
Yeah. But all in line with the character.
Yeah.
And then when Batman drops the F-bomb saying, I'll let him kill you.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what?
I'm down. I was like,
I see exactly why you say it. You could probably just have said it without the F word.
Yeah.
In the same manner, because it's the delivery.
Yeah.
And the emphasis on, I will kill you. But yeah, I believe the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
You got pushed.
That's lcool. You could left that one.
And then after their little chat.
Yeah.
And Joker laughs. And Superman pops out. Well, okay, something drops out of the sky. They all turn. The shadow, whatever it is, kind of lifts its head, and you see it's Superman in the blue suit, in the blue and red suit.
Yeah.
About to heat vision them all to death or some whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then cut. Bruce Wayne wakes up. Bruce Wayne in the present timeline wakes up, and then Martian Manhunter is outside his residence. They have a little chat. This world is mine. I should also do some stuff to help it. Yeah. So.
And Bruce is at this point.
Like I was saying before, though.
Yeah.
Like you were saying before, he's well, you know what? You find an explosion over there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, you guys saved the world. Oh, it's time for me to.
Yeah, I'll get involved now.
Yeah.
What I thought was hilarious. Yeah. At this point, you could tell Bruce Wayne's seen everything, so he wasn't phased. But he was like, oh.
Yeah. It's just
okay. All right. It's this is my life now.
Yeah. No, it would have. I suppose I think the original version it was going to be Green Lanterns appearing outside his house.
Yeah.
So and that if you slice the Martian Manhunter scene previous and slice this one now, you can save yourself a bit of time, especially if you're just having Green Lanterns pop down because they don't need any introduction really. However, you could probably just slice the whole thing if you needed for time.
Yeah.
So
you could just had Bruce Wayne waking up from the dream and that was it.
No, you didn't even need any of this. If you're trying to fit in 3 hours or 2 hours, 45 minutes.
I mean, the bit of him waking up from the nightmare thing.
Yeah.
So you sort of know that sort of to come, not leaving on some weird future time jump thing.
Yeah. No, but you would have had to cut the entire lot. Either use a bit of it, like you say, or cut the entire lot because it's not for time. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, you. Okay, so I enjoyed the movie.
Yep.
But it's long.
It's long, yeah.
Could have been tighter.
Yep.
But if you're sitting down watching as a series, like you were saying before, take your breaks and whatever, it's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. You could just if you are sitting down to watch this thing, get your dinner ready.
Yep.
Get your lunch ready. Get your supper ready. Get your dinner ready.
Yeah, because it's
and make sure you have empty bottles beside you for purposes.
Yeah, exactly. There was one little thing I forgot to say about the Joker bit when he made the references to Robin dying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And then Bruce Wayne was like, Batman was like, and Harley Quinn told me when she was dying in my arms that to kill you, make sure you suffer.
Yeah.
And that's when he drops the F-bomb. But yeah, I would, me personally, I really enjoyed this film. Much better than the original.
Yeah.
I
mean, it solves a lot of, I don't want to say plot holes, but they answers a lot of questions.
Yeah.
It reinforces some characters' motivations.
Yeah.
Did it need to be as long? The main question is obviously, did it need to be 4 hours long? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's better than the 2017 version. Yeah. It also does course correction a bit to that its characters come off inconsistent to the Batman vs Superman and the cinematic universe, but before it, like,
yeah,
Man of Steel, yes, right. Yeah. You could kind of the characters kind of could flow over from here to there.
Yeah,
but not Batman vs Superman because they're like, I'm blinded by rage.
Yeah, too much inconsistencies and weird character choices. Yeah.
If you like Zack Snyder style movies, and he's always good on action, like you say.
Yeah.
Then you want to see more of his style, yeah. But if you like Batman vs Superman for the darkness and the philosophical debate of an alien coming to Earth and the humans being nasty to him to a certain degree,
yeah,
you're probably not going to get those
feelings in this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is more, I don't want to say your traditional superhero fare, but more of a overall hit all audience points.
Yeah.
To make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not offensive.
No, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. I don't want to say. Some people look at Batman vs Superman and say it's a very deep movie.
Yeah.
Like psychological points, the character motivation, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you might. Some those who like that sort of thing might not like this because this is more. I don't want to say a surface movie, but it doesn't delve that deep into what you think.
Yeah.
People should and all that.
Yeah. Like I said, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's doing the job that it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And doing the job that in a cinematic action adventure universe that Batman Superman should have done.
Yeah. But like, I always keep saying, I still personally think the reason why Batman vs Superman is the way it is because too much studio interference. That's my personal opinion on that. But I could be wrong.
I mean, I don't particularly think Batman vs Superman was a good story to begin with.
No.
The idea, fair enough, but then if you're calling a movie Batman vs Superman, people are going to expect one guy to fight the other guy.
Yeah.
How you get to it is a different point.
Yeah.
But if you get to it all ham-fisted style, just because one character decides he hates the other guy for no reason, for some reason, but it's like not the greatest reason, then yeah, that's where you kind of
go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if this was right after Man of Steel, like I'm saying, if this tone of movie, if you split this in two movies, and it was right after Man of Steel, and you had to tweak some other bits to make this more consistent, like hold in those two sections, this would have been a great follow-up.
I don't know if I could agree with that part though. I don't know. I just feel like I said earlier, I feel that you need something in between this and Man of Steel because you can't just jump straight into this after Man of Steel because like you need more.
But that's what I'm saying. If you split this into two movies, you
even then, I still think that's a bit too.
All right, I feel like if you split this in the movie and you fluff out the first section with some sort of parts, then you can go into the other half of this and but no, I'm just saying tonally.
Yeah, tonally, yeah. But I still think you need something, like at least two things in between. That's not Batman vs Superman.
yeah, exactly. At least we agree. We both definitely agree on that, right?
Yeah.
However they would have done this universe, I mean, it's an awkward one.
Yeah.
Because like you say, you probably would have done better if you did solo movies in between or something like that.
Yeah.
But how they set up this one, and they're saying that they want to use the Marvel formula, is like, well, you're kind of, you've locked yourself in to have an issue just because you deliberately did not want to do something that someone else has done.
Yeah.
Even though that should be the way that you are doing it.
Yeah, because it would have helped you a lot.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you, as much as we say, okay, they should have done this or that or the other, if you're persistent that you don't want to do that,
yeah,
well, you crippled yourself.
Yeah, and again, I don't blame that on Snyder. I said before, I think that's all studio related. But yeah.
Well, you know what? He's got a writing credit for Batman vs Superman, so yeah.
Yeah, he has a writing credits, but then it's still the studio that says no, but we need you to put this, and this in it.
No, we can't speculate.
Can't speculate, but.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can speculate, but we can't confirm this one.
I'm just saying, from what I know from like people who have written things for like studios and stuff, and they've been told to rewrite because they want to include this, that, and that. So.
I do have to say, yeah, there are Batman vs Superman. There are issues with it.
Yeah.
Here, they resolve it better. They have actually more characters to introduce and everything like that, and it might be the runtime that helps them with it. But they give characters story arcs that kind of they work at the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always found it odd that Batman vs Superman, you had two characters. You had Batman and you had Superman.
Yeah.
And you couldn't come up with I want to say a cohesive story, but something that just made sense of why they were having problems.
Yeah.
And here you managed to deal with like 6 characters and still have completed arcs for everyone. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, it's something we will never understand. But yeah. Besides that.
Look, I was pleasantly surprised. I expected
same.
this to be more. I don't want to say in the tone of Batman vs Superman, but more of look. That wasn't that great. Man of Steel was all right. Batman vs Superman wasn't that great, and I expected this to be kind of like even if at the highest point, the midway level between both of them, or even at the top, similar to Man of Steel. But no, this was much better than both.
Yeah.
Really good musical score that helped as well.
Yeah.
Like people's signature themes. Actually, funny enough, I think they changed up Batman's. Okay, Batman's original theme in Batman vs Superman was a dum 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 like stomps.
Yeah.
I mean like keys that were like deep and low.
Yeah.
Impending, foreboding, like boom, 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 like like a monster stepping around. That sort of cute. Here they kind of changed it, and it's like because the tone of the Batman has changed, right?
Yeah.
So did they do it because they realized, okay, that musical cue doesn't fit this persona anymore?
Yeah.
Or they just realized, okay, that is kind of a dark theme for this character, and we better just kind of sweep that away a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I did like the Wonder Woman, the reuse of the Wonder Woman theme song though as well. So overall is really, really, really good. Solid all around. In fact, like you say about the Nightmare timeline, if they're probably not going to waste their time writing a script for a movie they're not going to have, but it'd be nice to know how it would have laid out. Not necessarily beats, but something here and there. Because why tease a sequel that you're never going to do anything about? It's just a bit of an oddity. Though I wonder if in the next movie, well, if they ever do a next movie, will it be the Injustice Gang, or will they kind of make Darkseid relevant? I don't know. Maybe they're going to tease a third movie where they can put. Maybe if they do Injustice Gang in Justice League 2 and Darkseid in movie 3, we'll see how the sequels are going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you reckon there will be a sequel?
Maybe not. I don't know. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on how well this is received, but this is not making them. Depends on the money, how they're going to make it. But this is making money by subscription, so it's not like it's
box office money or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be
And
quite.
where they've made before,
Yeah,
they've already made.
yeah,
If it's left a bad taste in some people's mouths, like you and I mean, I could have stood for just missing this film.
yeah.
So yeah,
Like it'd be
but
interesting.
an Injustice Gang would be neat because even in the Avengers or the Marvel movies, they never had an opposing gang.
Yeah,
So it'd been something cool to see. I mean, we've seen a horde army versus a group of superheroes before. So,
many times at this point.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So as Darksiders development might not bring anything new, but a group of similar ability characters as the opposition, that's a bit more fresher.
yeah. What if they were clever?
Yeah.
Like DC, like the sequels, obviously not gonna make a film about it. They should just do a comic book version of what they would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been that'd have been a good idea. Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to call the story arc because they could have just called it. Obviously, it wouldn't be called the Snyder story arc because that wouldn't make any sense.
No. Snyder arc.
the anti-life equation or something like that.
Yeah.
The anti-life arc. I don't know. Whatever.
Don't know. Or the nightmare. I don't know. Something.
Yeah,
we don't get paid to make names, so who
no. But once you put Zack Snyder's Justice League on the lead of it,
yeah,
as a miniseries, you can put whatever subtitle you want underneath it, and as long as it is related to what the story is going to tell, and it'd be neat to do a comic book version of it.
Yeah,
because then they won't have to worry about budget, time restraints, or any of that stuff that was causing them problems previous. That's a very, very long episode, almost as long as the movie itself, right?
Yeah, just hours shy.
Who knew? This was going to go that long?
No.
So I guess it'd be good for us to sign off at this point.
Yep.
Jeez, who knew this?
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? We just got carried away.
Well, we could have just done an audio commentary to the movie.
Yeah, we could have. For those who stuck around for this whole length of time, thank you. If you've seen it, let us know what you thought of it. Was it good in your opinion? Was it bad? Was it needed or justifiable to be made? Who knows? So let us know in the comments. Send us an email. Interact with us on our socials. Also give our podcast a rating on the podcast apps. So we can boost our credibility and get more people to listen to us. And Zack Snyder, thank you.
Yeah.
For
indeed
taking up 2 days of my life.
Yes.
I'm grateful, I guess. I may watch this film again in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
Probably will.
Yeah, when I've got like a spare couple of hours. But I wouldn't watch in one chunk. I don't watch over half an hour there, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour here or something like that. But not one chunk again because that was a nightmare.
Yeah. And so this has been us with our opinions about it.
Yeah.
I have been. My brain's gone to mush after 3 hours. I have been I don't know. I'm done.
I am the man who ran back from the nightmare realm to alter the timeline. See why, Sean?
Oh, no. I am Nightmare Realm Joker who told Batman that he's a terrible dad.
and then got a big threat with the F word by the Batman himself.
Yep. Kyle Charles. And thank you for taking this extended trip with us around the multiverse. Thanks to Mr. Zack Snyder. And tootaloos.
Bye.
Bye.